What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome to Not Your Status Quo. Woo!
Woo!
Woo! Woo! Do my eyes deceive me? Is that a wild fatherly fandom that has appeared?
Straight out of the caves. And I got all the mud washed off, and I'm human once again.
Oh, excellent. Wonderful.
Well, that's a relief.
Right? Right?
I thought you were straight out of Compton.
Straight out, oh boy.
I don't want to finish that statement of the lyrics in them.
A crazy fatherly fandom named Chris.
There we go. Perfect. You
This is a
datified
family
it.
channel, okay? We have nothing but good family content. Anyway,
I don't
let's
know.
talk
I heard
about
what
the show that's all about
I heard
murder
what you
and
sickos
blood
were
and,
talking about
crime.
before we went live.
Yeah.
But obviously, we've got a tradition around here, not your status quo. So before we get started, Dave, Keith, Chris, how are you doing?
Well, I guess I'll go first because you said my name.
You go first.
I am grand, and I am very grateful to have Chris back with us. It's always great to have another perspective besides our three boring takes from us guys.
Oh, whatever. You guys are great.
But I think, I can't wait to talk about Echo. I'm actually saying that about an MCU show, a TV show. I was completely not ready for how good this show actually was. I thought it was going to be garbage, and I couldn't turn it off. So I can't wait to talk about it. So I guess I'll go the next on the list. Keith, how are you doing today?
Anytime I get to talk to my fellow nerds and a fellow father who is in a fandom, I am tremendous.
Nice.
So
Nice
I've been, very much like Dave. We heard a lot of bad things about this show, and I think we'll talk about it in a bit. We saw where that was probably the case in this show, what we got. But it was a lot better than I was expecting. And I was able to, unlike Rebel Moon, where it took me quite a long time to get through the 2 hours and 15 minutes, I ate through these 5 episodes quickly. But we will get into that. Chris, good to have you back on our stream. How are you doing, young man?
Man, great to be back. So excited to talk about this Marvel first spotlight that we've seen so far from Marvel Studios. And yeah, let's get into it.
All right, Doug, how are you doing?
Oh yeah, Doug. How you doing, buddy?
Well, gentlemen, let me tell you, I am outstanding. And yeah, I got to agree with the three of you. I was hesitantly kind of looking forward to this because I was like, it kind of looks good from the trailer, but everything that, that's been going on from the back end, like with the release hiccups and everything, it was like, I don't know if this is going to work. It sounds like a mess. It sounds like they were editing it all to hell from, it was, I think originally 8 episodes down to 5. And it's like, oh, now they're going to release all of the episodes all at once. Like everything that we heard about it spoke to us saying, this is going to be terrible. And I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay. So we're going to have to deal with Aquaman, Rebel Moon, and then Echo, and it's going to be just straight up a flood with a dumpster fire just floating along. That was going to be December and January.
Yeah.
But boy, I cannot wait to talk about this.
Then we were going to be saved in February by Madam Web. When I got my
that's the saving grace.
My grand grape juice. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Every costume reveal should be released on Ocean Masters drink, whatever it's called.
I know, Ocean Spray. Yeah.
Yes, that's it. Thank you.
But yes, that's right. Fellow nerds, we are talking tonight about Echo. As Chris pointed out, this is the first thing that the MCU Disney Plus has branded as a Marvel spotlight, kind of in a similar vein as their special presentations, like what we got with the Guardians Christmas special and with the Werewolf by Moonlight or whatever it was called.
By night, yeah.
Those-
And let's not forget about this.
Yeah, Werewolf by Night.
Those were
Werewolf by
special presentations. This is Marvel Spotlight, which is going to be their
Yes, I said
more.
that.
Oh, as you can tell, I was not
You
doing
did.
social media stuff and paying complete attention to everything I said.
What did you say, Doug? I didn't hear any of that.
Sorry,
Yes.
Doug.
This is the first Marvel Spotlight, but it is a similar separation. They're not calling it a series, much like when they were putting out their special presentations. Now, we don't know if this is going to be the new thing for everything going forward for all MCU releases, or if they're just kind of testing the waters. But from what we heard, as I stated a moment ago, everything that we heard about the lead up to the release of Echo just didn't sound good.
Yeah.
It went from delays in filming, reshoots, issues on set, heavy editing, and then all of a sudden, the final nail, at least what we thought, it's going to be the final nail in the coffin. We are releasing all of the episodes all in one go. And we're like,
yeah,
oh,
that's interesting.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that first episode, when I watched the first episode, I'm glad I watched 2 that first night, because I watched the first episode and you could see all the cuts and all the editing. And,
Yes, you could.
all the Hawkeye footage that was thrown in there. And I was like, oh, man. Oh, man. And then I got into the second episode and I was like, oh, all right. Okay, here we go. It's starting to pick up the pace a little bit. It's flowing so much better now. And it seems like whatever they did seems to be for the better, in my opinion. I don't know what it was before, but this was quality television. It's been a while since we got a good MCU show.
Yeah.
That's true.
At the end of every episode, I was like, oh, that's it? I have to watch the next one, you know? And, you know, I think they varied in time. I think the first one was 45 minutes and the second one was like 40. And I didn't keep track after that. I just kept watching because it was just so good. I couldn't tune out.
Yeah. Same. It flowed pretty well. You could definitely tell that there was some rewriting and some story changes throughout the 5 episodes. And like you said, Keith, like the first 2 episodes, they kind of led me to believe this was going to be a certain way with the story when it came to her taking on Kingpin's empire and everything. And, you know, they kind of circumvented that halfway through. And then it became this introspective story about Maya and her relationship with where she came and where she grew up and how she came about and where she's going to go from there. And just, oh man, it's got to be said, like all the First Nation stuff that we're getting in all these things, even in the what ifs as well. I'm just like, the Choctaw Nation actually helped and contributed with this show as well. And I guess they're going to be, you can actually watch these episodes in the Choctaw language as well too, which is really cool. So awesome. Pretty awesome stuff. And so I loved getting to see all those generations and everything throughout the episodes and how they culminated that all together in the story of Maya taking on this mantle as Echo and explaining her name too, which was awesome.
Yeah. They did a good job of, now we know she has a reason that she has that name. You know, it's not like somebody made it up. It was just like, this is given to you. Kind of.
Technically in the comics, you know, it was made up and you know whatnot.
Yeah.
I
was going to say,
Echo because she's deaf.
They did a much better job of explaining it, making it her name,
Great writing.
as opposed to the comics. You're 100% right, Chris. And I loved her in the comics, but I think they really made the character better. There's few times that they've done things better in the MCU than what's in the comics. It's hard to do it in live action. You know, we understand. You know, Special Investigation is a prime example. Wait, that's a terrible example. But, you know, it's like Infinity War. Like Infinity War in the comics was so much bigger, so much better. But they did a great job of condensing it and make the story tight. And this is that one of those times where they took that character and made her much better, much more interesting, much more appealing, wanting to see her again. I hope she comes back very soon.
Me too. And I really do feel like we need to see more repercussions in the future to Echo's past and everything, because like we you know, she got to a certain point and we can forgive her for a lot, but she's killed a lot of people in her tenure under Kingpin. So it's like there's got to be some repercussion, some sort of atonement to that. And I hope that comes to play with Daredevil and maybe a clash between those two characters. What do you guys think?
No, I think you're right.
It's the Chicago Bears of Marvel series. The Chicago Bears.
The guy's got to lay off.
So
too soon. Still too
I will
soon.
agree with that. That's always been one of my biggest arguments about trying to redeem characters. Like that was one of my big issues with. I'm just going to do a quick minor tangent with the Star Wars sequels when they were trying their best to redeem Kylo Ren, and I'm like, he killed too many planets worth of people. You can't redeem him at that point. Yeah, but I was cool with my dad and mom now. It's like, buddy, you killed too many people.
And of course, finding out that they were going to have him not be redeemed, but even go deeper into the dark side, and the first thing just makes you go,
and that's probably how it should have been. But yeah, same thing with Echo. Yeah, she has, and Daredevil even pointed that out. You know, in his small appearance, I kind of wish she had been there a little bit more. I wonder what.
Me too.
You know, what if anything, if that had been cut out? But he even mentions that, and Kingpin even says as much as well to her. He says, you knew what you were doing when you killed those people.
Right.
For me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do hope that we do get to revisit her character. We see her again, but I kind of hope that it isn't just brushed under the rug and they're like, okay, well, all of the murder that you did, that's okay now.
Right.
Like
yeah,
Wanda,
exactly.
There's no way to.
Oh yeah, they bring her back.
Wanda is pretty gone. What would they have to do to redeem her character? You know what I mean?
Right.
Obviously,
I forgot that we said the same thing about Wanda. Yeah, that's how do you redeem her at this point? She did a lot of murders too.
They did.
At this point, she's almost got to be a very Punisher-esque type character, where she's just going to do what she does and not care. Hey, you know what? I'm going to do what's right. I'm not redeemed in your guys' eyes, but I am now at peace with my generations and what I'm supposed to do. My mother raised me better, and I drifted from the pack for a while, but now I'm back, and I'm just going to be what I need to be.
Yeah, and I found that to be very emotionally impactful in her decision, in making that decision, because the whole series was a pull between her and her old ways with Kingpin, or her ways with her mother and the generations in her family, her true family. Fake family versus real family, where do you choose that, and which route do you go? And so, yeah, she's got a seedy past, but at the same time, it's like, well, she decided to make a choice, and she's going another way, and I think that's admirable in itself.
Yes,
and she was manipulated by the Kingpin too. He knew. One of the things I liked, I was really worried about the Daredevil cameo in this, if you will, or Daredevil showing up, because I didn't want it to just be forced in. And I was a little worried when he first showed up, but the way they handled it, which was a great fight scene too, by the way.
Yeah.
My God, that was so entertaining. I need to watch it again.
Yeah.
But when the Kingpin explained, the Kingpin knew Daredevil was showing it. And that's why he sent her.
Oh, yeah. It was the test.
Like, hey, man, it's Daredevil. Like, he kicks her ass all the time.
Yeah. And he was like, you performed better than any of my men. I was like, oh my God, he sent her on a mission. That was the total Kingpin planning out to see where he stood with her. And once she passed that test, he was, okay, I'm making you mine, and I'm going to manipulate you as best I can to bring you completely into my fold.
Yep. And that's what it was. It was manipulation, and he wanted she wanted Maya as his own. He likes these playthings. He kind of same thing with Veronica during the Daredevil series as well. It's not love, it's not real affection or anything.
Vanessa.
He owns, Vanessa from the original Daredevil. So he wants to own these characters and these people, and then anybody else who circumvents that, like a real family over in Oklahoma, he wants to wipe out because they are a threat to him owning this person, manipulating this person.
These tools, they serve a purpose to him, and if something prevents that, gets in the way, it's just like her cousin or uncle or whoever that was, that run the roller rink, when he tried to get out.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
her uncle, when he tried to get out, and he says, yeah, I tried to leave, and he killed everyone that I cared about.
He killed everyone. Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
And that's exactly what he does.
Mm-hmm. And it shows too with him not learning sign language and everything, and every one of her family members learning sign language and keeping it up too, like her grandmother did.
Yeah.
She's like, I learned this for my daughter, I kept it up for Maya. And it's like, and Kingpin couldn't be bothered with that. He did the technology, which was cool, by the way, but still, it shows that he wasn't really invested in her because he cared about this character.
Yeah, it's more, they always say, look at people's actions, not their words. And he was saying the right things to her, but he wasn't doing the right things.
Oh, and hats off to Vincent D'Onofrio for that performance. I felt that too. It's like, even when they sat down for their Sunday dinner on Thursday, it's like I started to feel for Kingpin in that moment. And I know I shouldn't. And that's the same thing that Maya is dealing with. And geez, Vincent D'Onofrio. Hats off, buddy.
Yeah, that's why I say he was born to play that role, because he played it perfect. You felt sympathy for him, even though he is who he is.
Sympathy for the devil?
Yeah, right? Sympathy for the devil. He's Earth's street level Thanos, just like they said, because you can see that he feels like he's doing. Did somebody just say absolutely?
Oh, I did. Absolutely.
You can see. Another one.
Oh, crap.
He really feels that way when he's talking, and yes, he's manipulative, very manipulative. But from his point of view, he's doing the right thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I know it's going to sound like we're doing a whole lot of just singing the praises of the show, which, truth be told, it feels weird at this point because we've had so much garbage that it's strange being able to sit here and say this was amazing, this was done well, this was so good. But I have to say, one of the things that I think I appreciated the most about this series is going back to what you were talking about with the American Sign Language. They made sure that it was used very prominently. They didn't take the easy way out. And again, this is to what Keith was talking about as well. They didn't do what they did in the comics, which in the comics, they're just like, yeah, we're not even going to bother with that. This has to be written word. So they just made the excuse, she can read lips, and then she can speak fine. It's no big deal. Everybody understands her, and that's going to be Maya. And like half the time, you forget that she's deaf because it's not really a part of who she is. It has nothing to do with her identity. So the fact that they incorporated it and so well into this series, I mean, just
you know what? For that. Some of the most powerful scenes were when we were having it from her perspective, and there was no sound going on.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, they played that just enough. They didn't overdo it. And they did it just enough to really give you that perspective. And I think it added a ton to the series.
Oh my gosh, when she was strangling that one guy and you heard the two heartbeats turn into one. Wow, was that amazing.
And I thought it was
she had him in a Darce choke. She wasn't strangling him.
Okay. Isn't that how Arrow used to kill people?
I don't watch MMA like you.
Right, Keith? Isn't that how Arrow used to kill people? That same move that she did there?
Yeah.
And
I think he did.
No, Dave, they were just taking a nap. They were really tuckered out from the fight.
Yeah, he cracked their neck and they
sleepy time.
Relaxed and they went to sleep.
Just felt real good.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thanks.
Man, I
needed
that.
I'll see you next Saturday at 3 a.m. for my next back crack.
Next adjustment, yeah.
But I thought at some point they were going to just I can't remember what movie that was where they just stopped speaking the foreign language and just started speaking in English so that you could so they wouldn't have to translate anymore. I figured at one point they were just going to start talking and skip the sign language, which I am grateful that they didn't, because it would have taken away from the show.
Are you talking about Wonder Woman when Chris Pine decided to sneak into the German party and speak to all the German people with a German accent while speaking English while everybody else around him spoke German?
That's what happens, right? That's real.
Because, Germans would never be able to detect that.
Yeah.
And then Gal Gadot just didn't even bother speaking any other way than herself.
Yeah. It's like
Whoa, let's get back. Stop.
Low
No,
hanging
more-
fruit.
no, let's not get 19 dug on an 84 rant. But, one of the things that was so subtle and I think so well done too was Maya's grandfather and grandmother. When we see, we find out they're separated. When she comes to the store and he's like speaking,
Yeah, I
Chata,
love it when you speak.
and
Choctaw
he's
with me.
like, that used to, melt you like butter. And she's like, that was a long time ago. But then when she comes back for the sewing machine and she is speaking it to him, like there's a little rekindling going on there, and it was subtle. They didn't like overdo it. They're speaking that language that they had before, and I was like, man, this series hit the feels quite a bit for me. Like seeing a lot of the family stuff with Maya when she had the conversation with her grandmother, like when she was having her visions and her uncle took her to the grandmother's house and they were having that talk at her kitchen table.
That talk. Ooh.
I was like, man, they were just talking and it was so intense. And you could see Maya's anger still there and still prevalent. And the grandmother did the right thing. Instead of like casting her off, she's like, okay, I realize I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And I've got a lot to do to make up for this. And she went back and started making that, suit for her. I was like, man, these guys just nailed so many things with this show correctly.
Yeah, they did. That family dynamic was brilliant. It's like, and that's how it is in a lot of family situations too. It's like people have to admit that, like, yeah, the way I did that, the way I handled that situation, the way I handled that trauma wasn't the right way. And every time I looked at you, I saw my daughter, and that was not right. So that was beautiful that they incorporated that. Like they weren't completely in the right too. It's like Kingpin had his things that he cared about Maya too, but he was definitely in the wrong. But her family also did things wrong that led her on the path that she was on. So everybody had their mistakes, and it's about getting over those mistakes and moving forward. Oh, man.
Yeah.
And the uncle, did the same thing.
Biscuits did everything right.
Yeah, Biscuits was, yes.
Biscuits! Standout character.
Except for selling his PlayStation 4 for $100.
No. He was doing it for his grandma. So
that's true. When she was having that conversation with her uncle, and she was like, you could have gotten me at any time. Why didn't you? And instead of just going, I'm so sorry, I was wrong. He's like, I was confused.
Yep.
I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know what to do. And obviously the Kingpin being a part of that equation added to it, but they didn't overdo it. He explained, he's like, listen, I was wrong. I was confused and I didn't make the right decisions. And there's nothing more I can say. And
how often do you see that in a show? It's like, well, I haven't. It's very refreshing to see. And just real conversation. Just, man, absolutely amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
Absolutely.
That's probably what made it so relatable.
Yes. You're right, Dave. Speaking of Biscuit, do you guys know what his real name is? Well, it might be his stage name, but it's pretty cool.
I followed him on Instagram the other day, and now I've already
nice.
Stands with a femur.
It's Cody Lightning.
There you go.
Oh, like it.
Yeah. And that guy, man, yeah.
I was worried about his character when we first met him.
Me too. At first he grew on me immediately, though.
Yeah.
Yes, he had a great arc too. I mean, he started out as this, he's gonna be comic relief, he's gonna be annoying. Yep. And he grew and he worked and he did some things that were still silly, but it was all in character. He didn't do anything outside of his character.
No.
And when he got the monster truck out to trap those guys, like, oh man.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty great. I was like, it just had fun with that stuff. And some of it's a little silly. It's like, why are they out there? And how does he have access to this monster truck? And is he, not even caring that he's gonna kill these people in these trucks and whatnot, but still had fun with it and didn't think too hard about it.
Everything the light touched was his.
Oh yes. Oh, I love that too. It's like
Lion
that's a Lion King reference there. I was like, oh, beautiful. I love those little moments too. It's like, oh. Perfect.
Well, in keeping in traditions, let's jump to the end here. What do you think that what do you think that he felt? I mean, did she heal him on the inside from having to kill his father?
I think
when he was saying, "What did you do?" Did that change something?
I don't think she fully healed him because I think he backed away too quick.
Yeah.
He was scared and confused about the changes. I think if she could have spent more time, but I mean, I feel like I'm calling it the therapy Ray.
The
I feel
therapy,
like she would have
beautiful.
had a little bit more time to do her therapy Ray on him, just a little bit longer, maybe a couple of sessions, come back once a month for the next 2 years. Maybe she could cure him.
But he didn't want
And
that.
honestly, it may have healed some of his guilt over what he did to his father, but that may make him more of a monster.
Yeah,
He may
totally.
go exponentially worse when we next see him.
Well,
Yeah,
considering what we saw in that end credit scene, that's
Oh my God. When I saw that, you guys had all finished before I did this series. And I watched it and I was so happy. And I'm like, okay. I like pause the TV and I went upstairs to get a drink and come back downstairs. And I like, okay, I'm ready for it. I'm like, and when he's like, you know, the mayor of New York City talking on TV, and I'm just like, oh my God, Devil's Reign.
so on the
This
nose.
is
too.
going to be
so on the nose.
so good. It's got to entail Daredevil Born Again. It has
Mhm.
to entail Spider-Man 4 and
Yep,
maybe
yep.
a few other,
I
you know,
hope
maybe
so.
we'll get, now that all of the Netflix shows are officially 616 MCU canon, maybe we are going to get, you know, some Luke Cage. Maybe we're going to get Jessica Jones, and they're all going to be dealing with the fallout of
Yeah.
Mayor Fisk and his outlawing of vigilantes. And who is he going to get to enforce those laws? Oh
Danny
man,
Rand.
we could see Scorpion coming back. We could see, you know, who else? I mean, maybe even the
Bullseye.
Wrecking Crew, or so many things that they could do. And they could, if they do this right and set this up and lead into this, I mean, we could have a grounded MCU movie that is comparable to Infinity War and Endgame.
He may not necessarily even need the heroes. He's already got the police under his thumb.
Yeah,
We
he
saw
does.
that when he
Very
just
much so.
walked over.
Obviously.
Took Maya, got her away from being arrested, and just
What a
kept it
power
walking.
move.
Yep. okay.
Man. Yeah, I know. Just he
Look.
walks right in there. They're like, "Do you know who that is?" And they just
Mhm.
back off. Man, what
He,
a
like,
Much
cool
like
already
much
runs
like in the
that.
comics, having the police isn't going to catch you, Daredevil. Isn't
No.
going to catch you, Spider-Man.
Mhm.
They are too elusive. He needs superpowers, vigilant or superpowered deputies to go around and round these guys up. So it'll be the juxtaposition of, hey, the good guys are still the good guys, but the deputized, you know, the mayor has deputized these people to get them. And we know who's right and who's wrong, but there's that situation where they have the
That's
law
an
on their
interesting
side.
dynamic. Yeah, yeah. So
You
those
got to
people
love
that want to follow the law.
that.
Yeah.
If they do
But-
bring back Bullseye, I hope they bring back the same actor from season
I hope
3
so
of Daredevil.
too. I hope so too. He did an incredible job with that.
Yeah.
Keith
That's
says
one of the-
no. He didn't like
No,
him.
no, I'm
Is-
like, if they do, I'm going to be floored because
Okay.
that season of Daredevil with him in it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like when they canceled Daredevil after that, I think I
Yeah.
cried for a little bit because
I know.
that
It was such a
was-
return to form too. Like season 2 of Daredevil, I was like, man, I got to the end. I'm like, you know, zombies and whatnot. It's like, okay, we got through that. But season 3, yeah, definitely was that return to form, and he got back down to basics. What made the first season so great? And yeah, I don't remember the actor's name who did play Bullseye, but that was so imposing. That skill set and how they showed it
Mhm.
was frightening, you know, and they did such a good job with that, way better than I thought they would. So I really do hope they bring him back.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
This has been an absolutely evening, folks.
Where's Thunder Walker to tell us that he wants to bring back the Bullseye from the Daredevil movie?
Oh yeah,
Was that Colin Farrell?
Yeah.
Colin Farrell
no.
back in, yeah,
No, thank you.
with the shaved head and the scar bullseye on his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Just perfection.
Where he was just like playing with it for no reason. Maybe he did something got his jollies off or something. I don't.
And he didn't hit everything.
No.
Like
True.
this dude on season 3 of Daredevil hit everything. That's why you call
You mean,
Bullseye.
like- Based on his name,
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
right? You would think.
you would think.
Mhm.
You know,
well, you know,
speak.
it'd be interesting to see too. Just
sorry.
sorry, just one little thing on that too. You know, this wasn't part of Devil's Reign, but during Dark Reign, when Norman Osborn kind of took over Shield after the real Secret Invasion, after he killed the Queen and took over Shield and made it Hammer, and he brought out the Dark Avengers, and part of the Dark Avengers, Bullseye was pretending to be Hawkeye.
Yep.
So that'd be interesting to see, because obviously Bullseye hits everything. So he was like, I'll use a bow for you. I don't care. Obviously, he still was Bullseye, and he was like straight up murdering people. But, we could see something like that too. And maybe that starts gathering some of, the young Avengers, at least, Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, and maybe even, Clint Barton. So we could see quite a bit gathering to kind of put a stop to Wilson Fisk.
Yeah.
But man, they will need to, because he is not to be, slouched at. He may get a hold of Spider-Man and Daredevil in that movie.
Right.
And just kick the living crap out of them. And they're going to be
he could still take him on by himself, so he wouldn't need like another. If they got through all of his defenses and it was still him, he could still fight them himself, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, guys, I'm wondering, how did you feel about Kingpin surviving, getting shot in the face and the eye?
I mean, okay, so if you watched our In Focus video about the Kingpin, it's totally within his wheelhouse. He's survived so much worse. That's just it's not so much a superpower, it's just everything that he's gained, everything that he's done for himself, because as he loves telling people in the comics and in the animated series, this isn't fat. This is all muscle.
Mm-hmm.
And in the comics, the way that he survived it was it barely was able to do anything but damage his eyeball itself. And then he got a cybernetic eye as a replacement because he's, rich. But here, I assume it's, again, in a very similar vein to the way that he's able to survive getting shot by Hawkeye's arrows, right? He's just so tough and so muscular that it's not going to hurt him.
And guys, it's a comic book show. Give it a little leeway. It's not reality.
Right. Bishop shot him how many times with the arrows? And he just went, and kept going. So,
I didn't have a problem with it. I did think that they should. I don't know how they would have accomplished this, but if they could have leaned a little bit off of it for a little bit until he actually shows up when he meets Maya in the middle of the season, instead of showing him like in the bed in the hospital and everything. But we all knew he was coming back anyways. But if there was some way that they could have kept that a secret, that'd have been awesome to see.
Yeah, unfortunately, too much other advertising was around him returning.
So much.
So
and knowing that he's coming back for Daredevil as well. So there was really no way of them to do that. But story-wise, I would have preferred to seen him later on and have everybody think that he's completely dead. And as an audience, that would have been a cool thing to lay out for us too. But I understand why they couldn't do it.
When Jeremy Renner showed up too, and then I was like, "Oh my god, how did they get him to do this?" Obviously, I didn't realize it was
that was from Hawkeye. Yeah,
right.
There was
I was like, "Man, he looks great for being run over by a snowplow."
Yeah, he does.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, just so you know, I don't know if you guys saw it. He is acting again.
Making another
he
show.
Is Mayor of Kingston or something. He's
something
back
like
on
that,
set acting again. 1 year after that accident.
Yeah,
which is
good for him.
Amazing.
But is it an action?
So anyone out there who doesn't think the Kingpin can survive kind of being shot in the side of the head, Jeremy Renner was run over by like a 4-ton thing.
Yeah.
And he's back acting already. So it's possible.
There you go.
You have to have that intestinal fortitude.
Yeah, seriously.
Is it an action show? Does he do any action? Okay.
No, probably not. But I mean, that's awesome that he's acting. I mean, I can't believe what a recovery he's made, and that's great. That's the outcome I would want for anybody that goes through something like that. So just hats off. That's great. Great news for Jeremy Renner.
Agreed.
We kind of talked a lot about all of the good things on this show.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have two, I won't say nitpicks, but two things that kind of will bring my rating down a little bit from where
I love it.
Okay.
Let's get into it.
Number one is the first episode was choppy. You could tell it was massively edited. Story changes. And it wasn't bad. Wasn't terrible. Wasn't bad. Still good. But you could tell. And it kind of took me out of it a little bit. And the last thing was, and this is the same problem with every MCU show, it seems like, the last episode felt rushed. they raced to the end in that last episode so quickly. Dave said whenever the episode ended, he's like, I can't believe it was over. And I was really I'm like, wow, they really wrapped that up quick.
Yeah.
Now, they have time to do other things, but I just thought they could have spent a little more time. And I don't know if it was budget restraints because of all the reshooting they did, but it honestly felt like that last episode was rushed, in my opinion.
It did, because it was the episode where we finally were able to fully realize Echo's new power set. Basically the version of Echo that's going to exist in the MCU.
Right.
It got introduced in the last episode,
Mm-hmm.
where we fully realized, and it's like, I
Yeah.
feel like it could have been done a little bit better, but okay.
And that was kind of my qualm with it as well, was the power set. It's like I would have liked that to have been explained just a little bit more, exactly what it could do. I mean, they showed her mom healing the Red Robin and whatnot, and her dealing with Fisk, and it's just, I don't know. I just felt like, so I wanted more. I wanted more from that. I don't know what, but I would just like a little bit more explanation from that. And like you said, I think you said, Doug, that they originally were going to do 8 episodes and they went down to 5, and there's been a lot of restructuring of this too. So, and that's probably why we got a really rushed episode 5 on this and getting us to the end, because of all that stuff that went on behind the scenes.
Now, here's my question for you. Did Maya heal his gunshot wound?
I thought so, but because he had her fingers right over the eye.
And I wonder if she did that as, listen, I did this to you, and I am now going to make amends for what I did to you. And that was not only healing him, like with the father later, but I think she was healing her in some of her past sins by doing that. And I was like, wow, that's a really, and they didn't dwell on it. They didn't say like, oh, I feel better. I healed his eye. And that was my thing. They just kind of did it and went on. And I was like, oh, right. I think that's good quality stuff.
I thought that was, and I thought her choosing to lay down the hammer and everything when literally, not Thor's hammer, not Mjolnir, but when she laid down the hammer with Fisk and everything, giving it to her and be like, okay, it's your turn. You can do this as I did to my dad and everything. And that was kind of a turning point for her as well. But this takes it a leap forward as well. Like, no, I'm not just going to not kill anymore. I'm going to make amends for the things that I've done. And this is not me. So, yeah, I like that. I really like that, Keith. Good catch.
And what good Marvel show doesn't end with a picnic? I mean,
no, I know. Yeah.
What good Marvel movie starts with a picnic? Oh wait.
I mean, it's like, didn't She-Hulk end that way? With
they
family gathering and Scar coming in the end with a horrible haircut.
Hey, cameo.
Yeah. Hey, here's Scar. Oh yeah,
yeah.
He's just some dorky teenager. Here he is.
Don't tell Black Widow that, like, Bruce has a child when he told her, like, I can't have kids either. Wait a second.
Well, to be fair, that happened when Hulk was in control.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
Come on, Black Widow, you got to understand. I was on a different planet.
Yeah, she's dead. She doesn't really care.
She doesn't care.
I was watching your video message to me from Age of Ultron. She came in the jet. I'm sorry, I was
in the mood.
It was. Oh, geez. What?
I landed. She showed up. I had to take care of it.
Oh, man.
Oh, so wrong.
But we haven't even talked about Vicky. What did you guys think of Vicky? You guys remember Vicky, the skates? The skate cleaner at the.
Oh, right. Was that his name?
Yeah, it was Vicky.
That was his name?
Yeah. I know, right?
Hey, don't you remember when the guy showed up? He was kind of making fun of him a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was great that, her uncle kind of warned him, like, you don't know what you're getting yourself into right now. And he didn't. He thought, where's my money? Let's get my money. And they were like, whatever, kid.
Yeah. That's probably another qualm I have is like, well, would that guy have really taken out Echo? Somebody that can go toe to toe with Daredevil is like, and his two, female accomplices. I'm like, don't know if I buy
Was
that.
so the movie could happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plot armor?
And she wasn't expecting that either.
True. I guess so.
So,
You're right
You
about
know,
that.
when you're in the middle of a fight and some guy with horns jumps in,
Yeah.
you know what's going to happen next. When it's some guy who cleans skates at your uncle's,
Do you?
Yeah. It's like,
You
rink.
really know
Hang
what's
on.
gonna happen next? Oh, a demon is a thing now. Okay, sure. This may as well happen.
Maybe
But
Matt
he's just a
Murdock
dude
should
who
just get a
cleans-
job at a skate rink and clean shoes, and that's how you can get
That
the
would-
drop on these guys.
That is the plot to Daredevil Born Again.
Nice. Good job.
The skate cleaner. Episode
love it.
1.
But did you guys I mentioned this in our little thread off the air? But for you folks at home, it took me forever to figure out who Vicky was playing because I was like, I've seen this guy before. Where have I seen him before? And you guys might know if you're an eagle-eyed viewer and you like The Mandalorian, he was in season 2, the finale there. He was one of the pilots in the beginning of the shuttle that was holding hostage the scientist guy. I forget his name, whatever his name was. But yeah, that performance from that little scene that he had and those eyes, I was like, oh, it's totally that guy. He does a great job at playing some annoying side character for sure.
Besides name Dr. Pershing, I forget now.
Pershing,
Yeah,
that's right.
Pershing,
Dr.
yeah.
Pershing. Thank you, Doug. It was
And
Dr.
speaking
Pershing.
of the actors in this show, I
Mhm.
noticed because Dances with Wolves was one of my favorite movies growing
Oh,
up.
love Dances with Wolves. Yep.
Her grandparents are the chief and his wife from Dances with Wolves. They're the same. I think
Same
it's kind
couple,
of
huh?
cool that they kept them married in a
Yeah.
show that happens 30.
Well, they didn't keep them married. They split up. So hopefully they get back together, though.
Yeah, they'll be all right.
Yeah, they will.
So I got a question. And Keith, you're a little bit more on Twitter than I think.
Just call him a moron.
How
He's the
Twitter-fied,
tweeter.
I don't know how
Xer?
Xer you are, Chris.
Excretions.
Not very.
But
Wakanda forever?
apparently there was a little bit of a hubbub going on about Echo's costume, and it actually took the tribe to come forward and say, no, we're okay with this. We helped design it. But
That's awesome.
you've got the internet warriors coming on
Yeah.
like, this is offensive. Oh my gosh, how could they put Echo in this thing? And it's like
Isn't it a-
the Choctaw Nation came up with it.
Yeah.
Go
It's
they
a
made it.
grievances to them. Yeah.
position of
They
privilege.
Plain
it's
to
a
them.
good representation of our tribe. They wanted
I'm
it.
serious. Seriously.
Yeah, isn't it a position of privilege to be offended for somebody else who isn't
I
even
love that.
offended?
I want more of that.
Mhm.
I mean,
It
that's
is. You're right, Dave. And that was the thing. These people just want to. They probably were expecting this show to be bad,
Yeah.
and when it wasn't, they were like, "Let's find other things to pick on." Oh my God, that tribal, costume was. I can't believe they
How
did that
dare
to him.
you.
One sec. We designed it.
Right.
I can't believe that they portrayed roller rink people to be so scummy. I mean, that is just wrong. Why would they do that? It's an
I found that to be
abomination.
so accurate. It's like, nailed it on the head right there. Yeah.
You guys, I got a nitpick,
Sure.
and it's not even really serious,
Okay.
but it's so tiny. When she jumped off that train
Mhm.
onto Biscuit's truck,
Oh, yeah.
and she flew over the back,
Mhm.
and then he's still driving. He turns around, and is like, "Where is she?" And both of her hands come up over the back thing like that. What was she holding on to before that moment?
Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was just floating there.
She was
No, she
holding
probably
on to
would have
the
had at
plot.
least one hand up there, I would think.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah,
Look,
both hands come up like one at a time. I'm like, wait, what's she holding on to?
if we have to accept all the nonsense that happened in Black Widow, I think
Yeah.
we can take this one thing.
You
Yeah.
take that with a little grain. Yeah,
That's what I was saying. It wasn't a big nitpick, but
Yeah.
I guess
That's right.
so.
I kind of wanted to see her do some more cool stuff with her prosthetic leg, though, too. Because
Yeah,
like she had her grandfather design this really cool thing, and I was like, oh, how are they gonna incorporate that into the final show?
That
Nothing
was-
really.
That was
No,
something that I when they first showed her off in Hawkeye, I at first I thought, oh, this must be something they're doing with the character. And then, once I looked up, a little bit more about her, it's like, oh, no, she really is an amputee in real life. And Marvel and Disney were like, well, shit, let's just work that into the character.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
I was like, wow, all right. Hey, I'm cool with that. That's a good choice.
Yeah, that was a great choice.
Yeah.
The only thing, speaking of the powers and everything that we got in the last episode, we never saw. I thought for sure when she was using her powers, because we saw like the things on the hands, I thought she was going to get, like in the comics, she has the white sort of handprint on her face from when her father died.
Mm-hmm.
And I was expecting to see that. We didn't get it. So I wonder if they're going to either future iterations of this show, another season or something along the lines, or her future, where she shows up in the MCU, if that'll populate. But I really expected to see that in the final episode when she was either healing the Kingpin or doing something else. And we never saw it. And I was like, okay, are they not going to do it? Or is it something that as she grows in power, she'll put that there as like her mark? Like, this was one of my defining points in my life when my father died, and he died in my arms.
Yeah. So I don't remember. I haven't gone back and watched Hawkeye. Was it the same thing like in the comics where she held her dying father and he put his hand on her face?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And it had that blood. Yeah. So.
The white hand of Sauron.
No, Dave.
Whom do you serve? Saruman.
What am I supposed to say here? Jesus Christ or something?
I know.
Wait, are you from Earth?
No, I'm from Missouri. Yeah, that's on Earth.
Yeah, that's on Earth, dipshit.
Oh, Peter.
Oh, I love that. That was great.
Special young man.
And how awesome was it to get someplace outside of New York or California or something? You got Tomahawk, Oklahoma, and having a spotlight in the Midwest, for God's sakes. It was great. I love that. I hope more series and more features are featured outside of those areas, and we can get a spotlight on these different places. That's one of the really awesome things I loved about Shawshank Redemption, my favorite film of all time, is they went, off into a place that normally doesn't have filming and whatnot. And they made a big impact on the economy, the local economy there. So I wonder if it was the same thing for this show in Oklahoma. If they went, I think that they filmed in Georgia though for most of it. But I wish that they would actually go on location to these areas. If you're showing someplace in Oklahoma, freaking go to Oklahoma, make it work. Build up the economy there. That would be really cool. Just saying.
No, I agree. I think that would be a great idea.
Yeah.
Like when I was watching, we got a button. Smallville.
I'm not playing that.
Somebody save me!
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But that show was filmed in Vancouver, But they did have like drone shots of
Kansas.
Of Kansas, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, all those WB shows. Yeah, that's true. Probably why they didn't film it.
Big wide open spaces out there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Let your warm hands break right through.
He knows it. He knows it.
I know, I do. Watched all those. So
Doug's the only one here who hasn't seen them all.
Come on, gosh, Doug.
I've seen a lot of them. I didn't watch the entire series, in completion 14 times.
Dang.
Well, 12.
He added 2 extra because he thought by now you've watched it a couple more times. Dude.
Exactly.
There you
go.
go.
We're a little disappointed.
I'm legit surprised that you haven't started another run of it.
Another run.
I might.
You might.
Yeah.
But I got so much anime to watch, I can't really do it right now.
Oh,
yeah, you do. You guys are killing it with the anime. So,
you know what? I am very thankful. I am so thankful that you gentlemen are kind of taking it seriously.
Willing,
you're willing and you're open to do it, because I say this self-deprecation. I was not as willing as you. Back when I was in high school, you avoided the anime nerds. You didn't talk to them. They were weirdos. At least in my high school. They were Like, the word nerd was bad. You didn't talk to the
Yeah.
anime nerds. Yeah, gross. And so if somebody was like, "Oh, hey, do you watch anime?" No.
Well, back in my day, nerd was a bad word as well. I mean, it evolved over the last 4 years.
It's evolved
When I was
quite a
when I was
bit.
growing up, the anime kids were not much different than the trench coat kids. Same thing. They were probably both coming up to no good.
Right.
Well, and I think, it makes it a little easier, at least for me. I won't speak for Dave. Having watched things like the Clone Wars and Rebels and seeing how
great
good
primers.
animation can be and add to an overall bigger story and do a great job. Just because it's animation doesn't mean it's for kids. And I think had I not seen those things, I probably would have had to be dragged into watching it. But it even helped when we did the The Last Airbender, Avatar. When we were watching that during, like the COVID strikes, trying to find something, COVID strikes during COVID,
the
during
COVID
pandemic.
strikes.
You meant the
Down
Nickelback.
with the COVID. Down.
The
Cross that line.
I was a little hesitant. I'm like, oh man, but it was great. And I was like, okay, I need to get past my, stigmas of certain things and just do it. And so, it was pretty easy for me to get into, especially with it being Cowboy Bebop. I mean, sci-fi is my jam, as the kids say. So it was fantastic.
Was it your 3, 2, 1 let's jam?
It was my 3, 2, 1 let's jam.
Now, Chris,
I never turned that theme off, by the way. It's awesome.
Chris, were you making YouTube videos in 2020 during the pandemic?
No, I think when did we start? I think we started in 2022.
Okay.
Is when it officially hit off. So yeah, it's been over a year or two. Yeah, it's almost 2 years now. So that's when we started. But yeah, we weren't around for the COVID years.
So we were still tiny. I think we had maybe 200 some odd subscribers or something. And it seemed like YouTube was trying to find like new and exciting ways to just really kick us when we were down. And they introduced this new rule during 2020 that if anybody brought up the pandemic, they would shut down your video because they were afraid that you were going to be, on there saying that COVID wasn't real or something like that. They figured if there was any mention of it at all, they were just going to block the video. And so to get around it, in order to avoid getting in trouble, every time we mentioned the pandemic, it was always the Nickelback tour.
I remember that. Because I watched all you guys' back catalog from the beginning.
Nice.
Back in the day. Yeah, super fan right here. So I remember you guys talking about the Nickelback all the time.
I can say I am a super fan of your channel also, sir.
Thank you. Yeah.
I don't know how many I've watched and learned so much about Star Wars. I thought I knew a lot about Star Wars.
Yeah.
And you have shown me the error of my ways.
Oh, well.
Dude, all of your in-depth character analysis, oh my gosh, it's fantastic.
Oh, thank you, Doug. Appreciate it. Thank you, Keith. You guys are awesome.
Oh yeah. And as long as we're in tangent time, thank you. As long as we're in tangent time, are you guys interested in that Ray movie? I mean, I haven't.
No.
I will tell you why I am. I will tell you why.
What movie I am interested in? You guys probably already know what movie I'm interested in.
That's the Mandalorian movie.
Now,
yeah.
Did you guys see? While we're in tangent time, let's go crazy. Did you guys see what Bespin Bulletin posted today about the Mandalorian and Grogu movie and season 4 of the Mandalorian?
Because we're getting both.
We are getting both.
Yeah, because they're written. Season 4 is written.
Here's how it's going. This is how they are claiming it's going to go. Mandalorian season 4 is going to be 6 episodes. The Mandalorian and Grogu movie is going to finish off that season.
Oh,
very cool.
All right.
Which I don't think has ever been done before. I've never heard of a show running episodes on TV and then having a movie to finish it off, which is also going to obviously tie into
exactly, Doug.
What did he say?
Anime.
They do that all the time.
Do it all the time. Yep. Another good reason to get into it, guys.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, not your status quo for more of that.
But the Mandalorian Grogu movie is going to tie in with Dave Filoni's other movies.
I love
and they're now
that.
saying it is going to be a trilogy.
Yes.
So it'll be The Mandalorian and Grogu to finish off The Mandalorian season 4.
So
and then 2 other movies to kind of finish off that whole sort of run.
Really?
Ahsoka?
I like that. I like that because if that gets me my little trilogy in between that and the sequel trilogy, I'm gonna be a happy camper. So
That's even better than what I had initially thought this was going to be. Like, I thought they were going to give him one movie and that was it. But
yeah, I thought they were going to do the axe on season 4. I thought they were just going to not do it, and I was a little concerned because I was like, well, I know that Jon Favreau has written season 4. Are they going to just like take that and truncate it down to a movie? I don't know if I like that.
Yeah.
But hearing that they're probably going to do a season 4 as well as a movie to tie in and finish that up, that's perfect. I love that. Launch us into the movies, get us some high quality, amazing effects, beautiful cinematography, Mandalorian and Grogu. I am there. I think a lot of us are there. And that's going to be huge for Lucasfilm right there. And I think that's going to be what? Is that the first movie that's going to come out from Lucasfilm too? No? Which one's coming? Is the Rey one coming out first?
According to I forget who it was now. The Rey movie is going to start filming middle of this year. The Mandalorian Grogu is going to start filming the end of this year.
Oh,
now you guys,
the Rey movie is starting to film middle of this year, as in they already have the script and. Oh no shit!
Yes.
Wow, I didn't know that far along.
When you guys were talking about not being excited for the Rey movie, do you know why I am?
Why?
Do you know who's writing this movie?
Who?
Stephen DeKnight, who did Peaky Blinders.
Really?
He wrote a bunch of Smallville too.
Yes. So he has some excellent writing credits. I don't like what the current director is saying.
I don't either.
Saying
yeah, that's kind of dumb. I don't get
why would you say that stuff? It's like, really? You're just trying to rile people up? Like, not riled up enough?
Right, exactly. I mean, go ahead, Keith. I'm sorry. I don't mean.
But I was just going to say, I have
Yeah.
faith in this writer, and I think we're going to get a quality story. And that is what I'm hopeful for. I'm hoping it redeems Rey's character a little bit. There's nothing against Daisy Ridley and her. I think the sequel trilogy did her dirty, did everybody dirty.
Yeah,
especially the fans.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping it does a good job, and I'm hoping the script is spectacular and the director takes it in the right road, and we get a quality Star Wars film out of this to lead us, past that sequel trilogy. But once again, I say that I'm not like, it's going to be great. I know it's going to be great.
Yeah.
But I'm hopeful. I think they at least got the right writer here.
I'm with you. On paper, as a character, Rey should have worked. Like, I mean, everything about her on paper, description-wise, sounds very interesting, sounds amazing. Oh, she's an orphan kid left alone on a desert planet who had to learn to fend for herself. Oh, she learned how to fight on her own to defend herself. Oh, she knows the ins and outs of all of these abandoned ships, both Empire and Rebel ships, because she's digging out their parts, fixing them, cleaning them, and selling them for food. Oh, so she's she's a survivor. She's a fighter. She knows, engineering and everything. And it's like, and she figured this out on her own. And it's like, on paper, that sounds fantastic. In practice,
handled it wrong.
Yeah. Nailed it, Dave. It was the execution of that night. Like Force Awakens, I loved those characters. Like, I was very invested in that story from that movie. It's just the subsequent movies kind of brought that excitement and that investment in these characters down a bit. So
maybe if she had whined about wanting to go to Tashi Station for some power converters, maybe that would have told me on her.
I would have been endeared right then and there. I've been like, oh yeah, that's familiar. Give me that familiar nostalgia.
And if they would have just scripted the entire trilogy out instead of going, we're going to make changes, then changes.
Yeah, we talked about that before. Yep. You got to have a plan. And I really hope that's what they have with this next one. If they're going to build out beyond,
well, that's one of the main differences I think with Dave Filoni is he does plan things out.
Exactly.
And Jon Favreau has said they have already plotted all of this out.
I love that.
Yeah,
They're
I love
writing
that.
scripts as they go, and they're doing the
Yep.
right thing, so they know where the
way
end
it
point
should have
is,
been done.
and they know where to write to. And yes, they're doing it the right
Yep.
way. You don't just
Yeah.
okay, we got one movie down, we need two more. Who's next? What do you want to do? I want
Right.
to change some things up. Yeah, go ahead. Who cares?
Yeah.
And
Star
did
Wars
I hear
fans
right
won't
too?
care.
Tell you what, let's throw away everything we did in the last movie and start over. How's that?
Yeah.
No.
By the way, you're a Palpatine now. What?
Yeah.
What? Are you sure
Like,
about that?
Really? I really
She did-
want to
she
go with
did,
this?
an interview in one of the same interviews that was recently, that came out talking about what the original plan for Kylo Ren was. Daisy Ridley had even said that she questioned that move, like, "Are you sure?
Mhm.
Really? You want me to? Okay."
Yeah.
The best
Mommy,
thing
if
she
you
could have been was a
remember-
nobody.
I agree.
I agree. Yeah, I did like that about the second movie.
I think
so.
it opened it up. It made it so,
Yep.
you don't have to have a magic
Well,
grandpa to be a Jedi.
The
All right.
reason I didn't like that is because they built it up so much to be something else.
And Force Awakens,
kinda,
yeah, they
sorta.
kind of leaned in that. But that's
Yeah,
what
they
J.J.
tried to make
Abrams
it
likes
seem
to
like-
Yeah,
do.
that was J.J. Abrams and his stupid
Mhm.
mystery crap. He has to.
He likes the mystery box.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll create a
He's
mystery,
box man.
but I'm not going
And
to
then
give you
I
an
have
ending.
no answers for it.
Yes, exactly.
But I think that the
Funny.
nobody theme was definitely vindicated in Ahsoka, So
Yes.
that definitely was awesome to get to see somebody that wasn't very force sensitive to become even more with Sabine Wren. It was like, that's what I would have rather have seen in a sequel trilogy. And I think that that's a better way of showing that, and true to form to what the original Star Wars was trying to say about the Force and how
Yeah.
you learn about the Force. So
Where's
Yeah.
our number one
Hilarious.
Sabine
Way to do it.
fan? Our number one Sabine fan isn't in the chat tonight.
Oh, I
Oh,
know.
what a shame.
Where is she? Sierra.
I talked to her like an hour ago. She said she was going to be on.
Probably
Come
off
on.
Here.
Getting
Yeah.
ready.
Watching more Sabine, just soaking it all up.
Yeah.
Anytime
listening
Up
to-
with the helmet.
I see a
listening
picture
to
of Sabine, I
Sabine's-
always send it to her.
Yeah.
Listening to Sabine's theme song from episode 1, rocking
I
out.
love it. Yeah.
He's like, I get it now.
That is that song still kicks today. So yeah.
It is a good song.
I get you, Sierra. That's a great song. Keep listening.
And we support you totally being a Sabine fan. We know we
Totally.
can never be number
Love
one
her.
fan behind you, but we still love her. So
We try, but we can never catch up to you, Sierra. Sorry.
If I can, if you guys don't mind me bumping us out of Tangent Time for just a moment.
Let's go back.
Speaking of good songs and good music, I was ready to just go ahead and like skip the intro like I do with a lot of things. Like I think I got so used to it from the Secret Invasion because I
What?
hated that intro so
What's that?
much. With their stupid AI generated garbage.
Which show are you
so-
talking about, though? I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh,
It
Special
was-
Investigation.
Oh, there we
Secret.
go.
Oh,
With
yeah, that
the
opening was
music-
terrible.
With the music and echo, the second episode, I just, I let it play because I was like, actually that like intro piano is actually, it's kind of catchy.
Yeah.
And then I let the
Yeah,
whole
it was
thing play
good.
through. I'm like, oh, I like that song. This is really
Mhm.
good. And
I
then
mean,
all
agree.
the other music that they put in these episodes was pretty phenomenal. I got to say, like, hearing that one song from Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? That was nice. Down to the River Today.
Yep.
That was good.
How does it go?
Mhm.
That's
I
not it.
went down to the river today. Something, Jesus
The
and
good
crown.
old days. Jesus and crap.
I don't know.
It's very,
Something
very
over
memorable.
brother.
Then, you're saying.
Apparently, yeah. But yeah.
Stuck with you.
It's
Dave,
got
we're a little old.
good tune.
It's hard for us to remember. I remember song lyrics from the 80s. Like, I can sing you guys full Rat songs right now for some reason, but I can't remember what I watched 2 days ago.
Right. Oh well, the shameful thing is, in order to create the thumbnail, I decided that I needed to go back and rewatch the last episode in order to get a good, shot. I wanted to get Echo with all of her ancestors and everything behind her.
I love
and
that.
Figured
Yeah.
that'd make for a good thumbnail. And I'm like, well, since I'm getting the screenshot, I may as well finish one.
But it was nice that each of her, ancestors too kind of had
Mhm.
different skills. Like,
Love
the one
that.
girl was
Healing powers,
tactician and
boomerang powers, getting people out of
Mhm.
a cave very quickly powers.
Yep.
I assume.
He did.
that was the
Peeling
best.
off
Let's go
that
hide in a
dead skin
cave.
power.
Why do you keep wanting us to go to a cave? Because I can get us out quick. Come on, let's just go. Oh, hang on there. I can get us out real quick. Let me show you my powers.
Mhm.
Hey, are you
Look,
shedding? Shh, it's part of it.
Shh.
I could peel off all this dead skin. Watch me. And then I'll glow.
Yeah.
Have you thought about more lotion? Maybe baby oil after you shower, because that skin falling off isn't normal.
No, it's part of the whole getting out of the cave quick thing.
Oh,
Watch, here it comes.
Yeah.
But no, it was actually really cool. I think this is very similar. When I was watching this, I felt that it was very similar to what they did with Miss Marvel. I know that a lot of people are like, oh, well, it's not comic book accurate. Sometimes, and I hate to knock the writers and the creators of the comics, but sometimes they don't fully flesh out the characters that they create. Sometimes they
Sure.
create them to fill a space and to do a quick
Mhm.
role. And the creators of Echo even said as much when they're like, well, we didn't expect her to be in anything more than a few issues. Her role that she played was to be a foil for Daredevil for a little bit, where
clear.
he worked best in the dark. She worked best with loud noises. That was pretty much it. That is as far as they had created her. And so when it came to like what her power set would be, they're like, I don't know. She's like Taskmaster but deaf. Whatever. We're not going to think it through any further than that. And so then later on, they're like, I don't know. Now she's got the Phoenix powers. Whatever. So what they did for the show by actually fleshing her out, making her backstory more in depth, even adding on a little bit more to her father, to her mother, adding this whole thing with the ancestors. And I was telling you guys in the chat that it's almost like the Avatar in a way, right? Where she's able to have all the knowledge and all the powers passed down to her through her ancestral line.
Yeah. Yeah. And she can draw
By the way,
on that from now on. Yeah.
do you know who was a character that was just brought into like 2 comics just to be a foil to the Incredible Hulk?
Who?
Wolverine.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The first appearance.
His first appearance was him fighting with the Incredible Hulk. And then Chris Claremont and John Byrne were like, actually, it was Claremont, who was like, I want to bring him into the X-Men. We're going to make him a mutant. Because he was just some, little guy with claws and fighting skills and stuff. And they're like, we're going to make him a mutant.
He looks cool.
Yeah. And they totally fleshed out about, Weapon X and all the things that he was and just made him. So he was just some character. I don't remember who wrote that in issue of the Incredible Hulk. I think it was issue 181. But they were like, we're just going to have him. He's going to be a Canadian and he's going to have claws and he's going to fight the Hulk. And it's going to be great. And then they built all this backstory later on that just made him, the character that he is now. So, it's good. Sometimes they bring in a character and then someone else goes, you know what, I could do something cool with that. And I'm going to grab it and I'm going to do it. And it's nice sometimes that it is on a show that they say, okay, I'm going to change it up a little bit. And I think it worked a lot better with Echo than it did how they changed Miss Marvel. And I did like the Miss Marvel show, but I do think Echo was a better show.
Yeah, I
Agreed.
Oh, yeah, Echo was a better show.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Also, same thing with the Kingpin. His first appearance, he was just a bad guy who was bad. He didn't even have like a name other than Kingpin.
Yeah, and D'Onofrio had so much depth.
Oh,
even in the show, I mean, it continued what he was doing in Daredevil on Netflix. We say it all the time. He was born to play this role. He was just he's amazing.
Oh yeah.
I still remember when I was young, or should I say? Oh, go ahead, Dave.
I saw him in an interview. He said he was talking to Charlie Cox, and Charlie Cox was like, "I don't know if they're going to bring us back." He goes, "Come on, they have to bring us back." I mean, look at us. We had so much fun with that.
So perfect for the roles.
Yeah, it went over so well. They got to bring us back.
Can you imagine them, recasting for Daredevil?
At this point, no.
No, it's just like, man.
No, Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio played those roles too well.
Pitch perfect. Yeah, they did.
All I can say is, when I was young and reading these, should I say, when I was a boy And reading these comics with the Kingpin in it and everything. I mean, it was enthralling. Just especially, I always loved Spider-Man and Daredevil growing up, and him showing up over and over again was just. Whenever I saw Kingpin on the cover, I was always like, either Bullseye, Kingpin, or like Green Goblin. I was always fired up for it. And they've made him, oh, my thing just fell in the office here.
They have really fleshed out that character. My first introduction to Kingpin was not in the comics. I started reading the comics after I figured out who this guy was. My first introduction was the 90s Spider-Man cartoon.
Oh yeah, I think that was my first introduction too, Doug. You and me, same generation. So yeah,
way back then.
Animated Spider-Man. Oh yeah,
ultimate comment.
That's right, Spider-Man. I'll crush you.
I just hope, we kind of talked about it, that post-credit scene, when he's talking about getting everybody together, I'm hoping he's talking about like Tombstone, Hammerhead, all the
so cool.
All the mafia guys from like the comics getting together. If we get Hammerhead and Tombstone in live action and they're tangling with Spider-Man and Daredevil in certain areas, I'm going to be a very happy person. I almost said young man, but I'm not so young anymore. But it'll bring out the youth in me from all of those times, because that is what we need. Do your multiversal saga. That's fine. We can finish it off with Secret Wars, but man, give us that street level, just all out combat between the Kingpin and all the heroes.
Are any of the people left from the original Daredevil series, the people that he was meeting with before? As I thought that's who he was referring to when he said the heads.
Yeah, most of them are dead.
Okay.
No, yeah.
He killed them in that series. Yeah,
I couldn't remember.
Refresh my memory. Doesn't Luke Cage by the end of I think it's season 2? Isn't like he in charge of like Harlem? He's in charge of the crime syndicate there. So is he ahead of one of Kingpin's underlings?
That would be weird.
Wouldn't it be weird?
That would be weird.
Like, oh man.
And there'd be nothing the Kingpin could do to him.
Yeah.
Oh, he could do stuff.
I do wonder, of the two of them, which one is stronger?
Yeah. An indestructible man.
I'd say Luke Cage, unless he ate some bad food or something.
Yeah.
Now, the funny thing is, too, is at the end of Devil's Reign, do you know who becomes the next mayor of New York after they finally oust Wilson Fisk?
Lex Luthor. That's a joke. All right, go ahead.
That would
Luke Cage. He's currently the mayor of New York in Marvel Comics.
I'd probably vote for him.
He's got Hawkeye running the Thunderbolts for the city, and it's great interaction between Clint Barton and Luke Cage, because
that's awesome.
Clint Barton's like, I don't care. I'm just going to go do some stuff. He's like, no, listen, we have a certain thing. He's like, okay, yep, I'll do it. And then he does something else.
He clearly doesn't care. He lets his child put ketchup, mayo, and mustard on his hot dog. So
what is wrong with that guy?
All the things.
He just trained him wrong.
Luke Cage probably has.
That's just pure evil. If you're putting ketchup on a hot dog, he's evil.
Just like Hawkeye's kid, we know he's going to come up and be the big bad of Phase 7 and 8.
There you go.
With all the X-Men and everybody against him.
So
you failed me, Father. Now I'll end you.
This is not my thought, but I saw it on Twitter from Colton. I forget his last name, but he's from Screen Crush. And he put out a very interesting fact, and I now cannot wait for this.
Okay.
Now that Luke Cage is canon to the MCU, I cannot wait to see Cottonmouth's transformation into Blade. It is going to be epic.
Yeah. How are they going to thread that needle? So
if they even end up making Blade, they keep pushing it back.
Yeah, they have pushed it back. So
let's hope they do.
He's kind of in a weird place right now.
Yeah,
they've got a lot of repairs to do. Echo was really good, but they've got some more.
There's some damage control that's being done.
Especially, I don't know what they're going to do with this Jonathan Major situation. They haven't been very clear on if they're going to still do stories with Kang, or if they're just going to push it to the sidelines and do something else.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well,
I still think they're trying to figure that out.
If Echo's any indication, this is definitely a step in the right direction.
Are they going to?
Hope so.
Yeah, again, Dave, good thought. Are they going to maybe avoid more cosmic stories and work on some of the more street level stuff? Because shit, this is working.
This is working. I think that's a great avenue to go into, and it's a completely different direction. And it's
maybe we need to.
We're almost overwhelmed
and kind of focus on Earth.
Yeah, definitely.
This Earth.
I would like it.
Yeah.
Let's get back to 616.
Right.
Spider-Man and Daredevil would be the ones to lead that charge.
And that'd be great.
And I think they are. Yeah, I think that they say that in the next Spider-Man movie is going to feature Daredevil pretty prominently in that.
And Daredevil can show up in, in Venom and in a Black Widow and in all the, because you guys, Sony's basically
just
in the
for
MCU.
one scene.
They're basically in there. They're basically the MCU. Okay, I heard that. That they're basically
was that on your ocean spray cranberry cocktail this morning?
They're making Sinister Six, and it's going to be in the MCU.
Nope. I take it back. Madam Web should lead the next phase of the MCU.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
That's who stops Kingpin. Madam Web.
That's right. It's going to be shown that she is controlling everything from her chair.
Oh God. That's freaking weird.
Rest in peace, Marvel.
Yeah, that'd be it.
Yeah.
All right.
No, but I think that would be fine. We don't need to have Secret Wars in 2 years. Push it out.
No,
Focus on the street level. Figure out if you're going to go with Kang to continue to lead here, or you're going to bring Doom as a part of Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
we got to have Doom.
But they gotta spread it out. Like, I think that was the best thing that they did with Thanos. They sprinkled him in here and there, and they really let his character kind of form instead of just here's a bad guy.
Well, and I don't know if you guys know this. James Gunn has talked about this quite a bit. Like when he went to write Guardians of the Galaxy, they only gave him one direction. They said, you have to do this one thing. Everything else is up to you.
Harry Styles.
Thanos has to be in it. They said, we don't care what you do with him, but he's got to be a presence. And, he's going to be the big bad coming up here. Just make his presence felt. And he was like, okay, you know what? I'll have Ronan report to him. They're like,
perfect. Yep.
And that was the only direction they gave him.
It was perfect.
Yeah, it worked.
It really helped build on Gamora's character too, and eventually led to the excellent build out that we got between her and Nebula. It was really good, so I think it worked out.
Yeah, it was.
Some writers know what they're doing, some don't.
Yeah.
The line that still gets me every time I watch it is when Gamora says to Peter Quill, I bet we were fun. I was like, man. And what a great way to end that movie. Not they're getting back together. They're, we are. We're soulmates. We'll get back together. It's like
they made it more real.
She's where she is. Yeah.
Yeah. Quill sitting eating some cereal with his grandpa, complaining about the kid not mowing the lawn.
That's great.
Oh God, that was funny. Don't even get me started. Well, now I kind of want to know.
Yeah, exactly.
But it does leave the door open for him later if again.
Yeah.
Well, and James Gunn has talked about he had talked to Marvel about a legendary Star-Lord movie, basically on Earth, and if Kevin Feige, wants to do that, he has that in his pocket. They've got a lot of avenues they can go down. Just because they announced Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars and all this other stuff doesn't mean they got to do it anytime soon. They can change it up and rework it. Do what's working for you. If things aren't going well,
pivot.
Losing money, pivot. Exactly.
Pivot. Oh, Keith doesn't know that reference. Sorry.
I mean, and the last 3 Marvel shows have just been fire. So it's like, take what was good out of that stuff and roll with it, because that was good. A lot of the other stuff lately, not so much. So
it's been
I'd say Phase 4 stumbled out of the gate.
Yeah.
I don't think
They
it
had a little
stumbled
bit
out of the
too much
gate.
to
I
drink
loved
the night before.
WandaVision.
Well, that's true. And
Oh, it's
Loki
Wanda.
there, but
Yeah, Wanda.
well,
Yeah.
Loki was fantastic.
maybe Phase
Yes, it
4
was.
was limping to the barn because they finished bad, so they limped to the barn. Okay, so
Yeah, let's see. Phase 4 was WandaVision, which I liked. Falcon and a Winter Soldier, which was
Yeah.
good, but you could tell a lot of changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then Loki, then Black Widow.
Ooh, see that's
But
that's a
then-
stumble.
Yeah, then Shang-Chi, which I thought was good.
Shang-Chi
I really
was
enjoyed
I
it.
like Shang-Chi. Yeah.
The Eternals.
Ugh.
Eh, that also
Should have
that was a mess.
made the story a little smaller.
Yep.
Hawkeye, I enjoyed.
Hawkeye was good.
I
I
did
liked
too.
it.
Me too.
And then what I think is still the best of Phase 4, Spider-Man No Way Home.
Definitely
by a long shot. Yeah.
And then Moon Knight.
Ugh.
That
Stumble.
certainly
Really should have.
existed.
Then Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which I
Still
enjoyed.
fine.
It was good.
I thought
Miss
it was-
Marvel.
It stumbled a bit too, but it was pretty good for the most part.
There
Then
were
Miss
good
Marvel.
things in it.
Yes, there was. And I like Sam Raimi's sort of
Yeah, his little
direction in it.
spooky stuff was kind of fun.
Yeah. Old school Spider-Man kind of like feel to it.
Then we got Miss Marvel, which
Yeah, it was
was
okay.
good. Wasn't
I liked
great,
it.
but
Yeah.
I liked
Been
it. Yeah.
better.
And then Thor: Love and Thunder, which really should have focused more on gore.
They
Yeah.
More
Yeah.
than
they really
The
just
stupid
kind of like threw, hey, here's your girlfriend, she has cancer, and she's gone.
I know. Oh,
there were too
geez.
many jokes. Too many jokes.
Yeah.
And
So-
your
So much potential in that movie that just was wasted and squandered, and so many storylines that could have been panned out a lot better given the correct, writer with that stuff. Oh,
Here's
and wasting
okay,
Christian Bale
I
as
will-
gore.
defend Taika Waititi on that because I don't know if
Okay.
you guys saw some
Sure.
of the cut scenes, but the original storyline was with Zeus actually helping them out, and there was like a
I
whole
saw that,
montage
yep.
where-
Yeah.
So
he has his Thunderbolt, and he's like,
I wonder if Kevin Feige or somebody else said, Ragnarok was funny, make it funny.
Mm,
It very well could have been.
What more
could have
jokes?
been.
So
Could
I
have
don't
been.
know. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't really know. Obviously, I wasn't there when
Yeah.
they were making it, but clearly, I think if they would have added a few more serious touches, I think it could have potentially been better.
I feel like the comics that was supposed to be based off of with Gore the God
yeah.
Butcher, that
Arthur
storyline was top tier, and
Yeah.
that could have been
They did Gore wrong.
yeah.
They did him
They
dirty.
could have that Marvel film could have been one of the best, if not definitely the best Thor movie, if not the best Marvel film, if they would have just stuck to that comic, because it was so amazing having 3 different versions of Thor in different timelines, and you get to see that snippet of his character as he develops and everything as they're
And
going
you
through
see
time battling this character of Gore.
His granddaughter showing up to help in the final
Oh,
battle and stuff. That
Yeah.
was-
You know what they should have done, and I
Miss-
think it would have really helped Christian Bale's character if they would have brought back that sound engineer from Terminator Salvation to just piss him off.
His name
Yes,
was Bruce.
get that rage going.
For you, Bruce.
Oh, bloody!
Hey, shut the F up. Are we professional or are we not?
I'm sorry. I'm sure you're great. You're a great guy. I'm sure of it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
damn it, get out of the background.
Yeah, I know, right? He was fucking pissed.
And then we had She-Hulk Attorney at Law.
Worst show ever on TV.
Yeah.
In my
I still wasn't great, but I enjoyed most of it. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I thought they had
Werewolf
some-
by Night.
Yeah, I
Werewolf
like
by Night, which I thought
Daredevil.
was great.
Yeah.
I like
that was
Werewolf
good.
by Night.
Then we got
too.
Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
Oh,
Liked it.
that was good. Well, okay, except for the end and also everything with Ironheart, because that was another thing they shouldn't have crammed her in. It felt
Yeah, she felt like she was wedged in there just for
Yeah.
her potential show later on.
she
So
needs her own movie, her own show
Yep.
to expand on her character
Yep.
because she's a comic
Mhm.
book Ironheart is a phenomenal character.
mm,
And I feel like they just crammed her in there because they didn't know what else to do with her.
It just makes the world feel too little to me, is when they try to put all these characters into one little thing. That was like what happened with Avengers Age of Ultron. It's like, yeah, you guys are cramming too much stuff in here. It's like, let's just focus on the story.
I
There's a
did
right
like
way
the
and wrong way to
changes.
do that. And mostly DC's the one who makes the errors on having
Right.
too many characters in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I did like the changes to Namor. I thought that was a
Namor
pretty
was
decent idea.
amazing.
They made his
no
ridiculousness work. No more.
Namor.
Sorry.
Namor.
No
I
more.
don't know.
Just so you know,
Him and I, we're not cool right now. So
No,
Uh,
it's Namor.
You guys
I
were
think I
cool at
forget
one
the
time?
actor's name.
Yeah.
It
I
was.
never was.
Do you guys
Who played
remember the
Namor?
actor's name who played Namor?
no.
Ah!
He is
Gosh.
coming back for What If season 3,
Oh, that's awesome.
according to rumors.
Okay.
So
Mhm.
I heard-
supposedly
okay,
he
cool.
was lined up for the Kang Dynasty. So we're gonna get
Okay.
more Namor, and I'm
More
excited
Namor.
about that.
You just wanted to say that.
Yeah.
I thought he got accused of something as well, some legal problems.
He did, but I think that's already been cleared out.
I blew
That
it
was-
over.
Yeah, not credible.
That's
So
good.
and
Looks
then to
like
The
finish
actor's
off
name
phase
was
4,
Tinacuerta.
yeah,
Ah,
thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
There you go. You got that.
And
Yeah, there
then
you
the 39th entry in the MCU, and the final entry in Phase 4, the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special.
That
I mean,
so
that
fun.
was
This was
okay.
excellent.
That's a good ending. So
Yeah.
That's James Gunn, though.
anything
James
with Kevin
Gunn.
Bacon is great.
Mhm.
That's true. Kevin Bacon, too.
Yeah.
That was just the Guardians in general. Guardians
Yeah.
shows, movies. It's just good.
Heart.
fun.
Yes.
It's just heart. There's so much
is.
heart in that.
Yeah,
You know?
that's a good way to put it.
Mhm.
And by the way, this year when I was putting together, because I always put together a little holiday playlist for whenever I'm making a trip, whatever, just to listen to. And a lot of the songs that I added to my holiday playlist this year were from the Guardians Christmas special.
I love that.
Kisses and
Yes.
Swaddle by Kevin Bacon. Did you put that on there?
No, but I did put I don't know what Christmas is, but Christmas time is here. Or
Oh,
maybe
that
it's
alien
there.
guy?
Maybe
Yeah.
it's over here.
That was great.
Oh, that is not what Christmas is.
Well, okay.
So that was it. That was the end of Phase 4. Dang. Okay. Yeah.
So it stumbled in the middle, I suppose, but not
Mhm.
at the beginning or the end.
And
I think
I-
we think of it as stumbling so much because there was no clear path.
it also
We had
came
a bunch
right off
of
the
basic
heels.
single entries.
It also came
Yeah.
right off the heels of Endgame and Infinity War. So, like, I mean, it's really the bar was so high,
So high.
so
Yeah.
high at that point.
Nothing was going to meet that standard at
Mhm.
that point in time. So, yeah, kind of like a sloppy Joe. Real good on the
Yeah.
outside, but a lot of stuff is spilling over off
Yeah.
the sides in the
And
middle, right?
Iffy in the
That's
middle.
four.
a really good way to put it, because all of the stumbling, they were minor stumbles here and there. It wasn't
Yeah.
like the entire thing. Like we've been able to say with the things that were not great, like some of these, they had a few redeemable qualities here and there. So it's
Yep.
like, for instance,
Agreed.
you think about like Thor: Love and Thunder. There were some good parts in there. Some of the actors were pretty good. The Guardian scenes were pretty funny.
Mhm. Yes, those were
Christian
good.
Bale was tremendous.
Yes,
And
he was.
Could have been better, yes.
He was the best part of that movie, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about Multiverse of Madness, just some of the little fun bits that were put in there by with like, I think my favorite part was when Wanda disappears in the puddles, and then or in the glass, whatever, and she's popping out through reflection.
Ominous. Yeah.
The spooky music that's playing in the background whenever she's like traveling around and popping out. Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
They did a good
Yeah.
job with making her
Um,
truly menacing.
Yes. Again,
My only
it's
problem.
going to be hard to redeem her now.
Yeah, very hard to redeem her. But my only problem is we just got through WandaVision where this character was completely redeemed by the end. And then the next thing she's in, she's totally I think so. I think she got to a good point. Like
I
she
think they
grew
understand
and
it
what
like
you
she was
sacrificed
redeemed.
for them. they'll never get it.
I mean, she did manipulate an entire town and force them to to do her will. True, but
and then she
learned her
pressed
lesson,
Agatha
right?
into a sitcom body forever.
Yeah.
Oh, we did get Photon out of it, so
We
That's
did.
good.
We did get Photon, and now she's chilling with the X-Men, so that's awesome. And old Kelsey Grammer's Beast. I love it.
That's right. I wonder how long that'll last.
Yeah. I know, right?
Right. So what was the first part of 5 then?
Would you like to? Yeah, so let's do Phase 5 now. So Phase 5
All right.
started with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Oof.
Which I liked. I don't care what
liked it
anybody
too.
says.
I liked it too. Yeah.
It wasn't tremendous. It wasn't like a 10, but it wasn't it wasn't Rebel Moon either, which I
Yeah,
know
it's
are-
Ant-Man.
are
Yeah,
two
it's
ends of
definitely
the
no
spectrum.
Rebel Moon.
It wasn't
Nothing
Endgame,
then-
and it wasn't Rebel Moon.
Yes.
Again, for me,
There's
Rebel
no
Moon
middle.
doesn't make the list.
Right.
And then after that was my favorite film of Phase 5, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which
Excellent
Yep.
movie.
So good.
Agreed.
fantastic.
Phenomenal.
And then unfortunately we had that stumbling block of Special Investigation.
Oh,
Which I didn't even finish. That's like the first Marvel project I haven't watched all the way
If we
through.
weren't
you
watching
didn't
it
miss
for the
anything.
channel, I wouldn't have finished it.
And
because
just hearing
I-
what
I was
happened, I was like,
Irritated with it after the first episode. I was like, I
Me too.
hate you guys for making me watch this. It's
Yeah.
so bad.
See, I was like
great material. Could have been so much better.
starting the third episode, and I'm just like, okay, when are these big twists and plot changes
Yeah.
coming?
yep,
Oh,
never.
they're not. Oh, good
That's
stuff.
the neat part. It doesn't.
The twist is there's no twist.
Yeah.
Good news,
Then we had-
everyone. It's terrible.
Actually, I spoke my favorite of Phase 5, Guardians Volume 3 was my favorite movie. But my favorite thing of Phase 5, Loki Season 2
Oh,
was next.
Loki
Yes.
was season 2 was outstanding.
It was
so
the
good.
swan song for Loki. Just like, oh man, that ending is
Yeah.
just etched in my mind now. It's powerful. It's like that couldn't be better. Like I was so pleasantly surprised with how they wrapped that up, and it was just like, yep, that is the perfect ending to this character. And if you're talking about redeeming a character that has done terrible things, that's how you freaking do it, right there. Oh.
you know what? And that show,
Standing
No
ovation
one
for
really
that.
knows. Barely
whole-
anyone knows what he's
No.
sacrificed.
Yeah,
that whole second season was like in their span took what, a couple of days?
yeah,
It was
not that
like-
long. Yeah.
6
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
for Loki, it took centuries because he had to
Yeah.
go back and
Right.
learn all that
Yeah.
stuff over and over
You had to
again.
learn.
Yeah,
He groundhog dated up.
he really, he did. So
Then the Marvels, which I also
Wasn't as bad
enjoyed.
as everyone says.
Yep, above average a little bit. Wasn't great, but wasn't bad.
yeah, it wasn't bad. I mean, it's all
And
right.
Our in focus short on Binary got like 1,600 views. So hey,
Nice.
we're happy with that post credit scene there.
Yeah,
And then
Yeah, right.
and then Echo. Then we got Echo, which
We forgot
Oh,
what
wow,
if.
really? So
what if?
Oh, I
Yeah,
did.
you can't forget what if.
I didn't put the first season of What If in there either.
Oh yeah, where was that?
It's understandable because they only had really one thing come out of what if, and that went to Doctor Strange, and that was kind of a loose reference anyway.
Yeah, that was. And that's the beauty of What If is it's supposed to be like standing alone, telling all these stories that could have possibly happened.
Yeah.
And that's the fun of it.
Yeah.
And what I really enjoyed about it. And yeah, another like I those last few episodes just stellar. I mean the whole last season was great. I've enjoyed it. Like I said, the last 3 big Marvel series that we've gotten on Disney Plus have just been top tier for me.
Well,
That was
the last 2.
Yeah.
The last 3 were Echo, Loki, and then Special Investigation.
Oh, I'm talking about What If too. What If's in there. I'm not
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about Special Investigation.
Why do I keep
Yeah.
forgetting about What If?
you did
It's
it again.
Loki,
It was like-
What If, and Echo.
And Echo.
Those are the 3 that I'm talking about.
Okay,
Picking up
good.
I
You're
would-
right.
I would never say that a show I didn't even finish was top tier.
Yeah. I was wrong.
Right.
You were right. I was confused. I didn't know what to do.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. We've got your dementia appointment tomorrow.
We're all getting older. It's okay.
Yay.
We forget things from time to time.
You sound just like Echo's uncle, but when you said that, Keith.
I was meaning to.
Nice. Good callback. Yeah, there
Yeah,
you go.
I was super surprised with this Echo thing. I'm glad they're going in the right direction now.
Yeah, me too.
Pleasantly surprised.
Maybe that has something to do with is it Chapek who came back or Iger?
Bob
Iger.
Iger, he came back.
You know, maybe it has something to do with that when he told him to put out some more quality shows rather than quantity
He
shows.
may have been the one responsible for like some of the editing down, but this was all filmed under when Iger was still there. Or Chapek.
Or the other guy. Yeah.
Well, whoever edited it, they gave him the right job because they took out all the garbage apparently because it was all killer, no filler.
I think a lot of it was Kevin Feige getting back into the nitty gritty of these things and making sure he's reading the stuff and because I think he kind of got away from that. I don't know if it was him being like, okay, I'm the head of the studio. You guys know what to do, and I'm gonna hold back a little bit and step away a little bit. And I think his influence, was a lot of what really worked in the first three phases. And I think he stepped back, and I think Iger coming back was like, I think to really make this work, you need to step in. Like he was talking about doing a Star Wars film and kind of always helping Sony with some of their stuff. And I think he's going to get away from that and focus on what's coming out because, next we got X-Men 97, I believe, is coming out next. We don't have a release date, but that should be coming out. Then we get Deadpool.
Gimme.
Deadpool
which
3's
also has a bunch of X-Men in it with classic uniforms, and it's just like, yes, please. I will take all of it.
And for those of you that don't know, the rumor is that the trailer is going to premiere during the Super Bowl.
Oh, nice.
So, yay, sports ball.
Yay, sports. Go teams.
That'll give you a reason to watch.
Under Marvel News, then.
Nice graphic, Doug.
I like that.
Yeah, did you just make that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just pinned that right there 2 seconds ago. That's why he's the best graphic designer out there. Guys,
that is
Doug,
it.
Man. Frickin'.
So now let's talk Star Wars. So
Get
Nice
out
segue.
here.
Oh, perfect.
Hey, I know. He's on it. Oh, man.
No, just slash me down.
This mother don't miss.
Fellow nerds. I'm sorry, I just wanted to say, you go ahead, Keith.
Well, I mean, we got, X-Men 97, we got Deadpool 3, we got Agatha. There's still some things, let's see how it pans out. I have high hopes for X-Men 97 because they did bring back all the original people from the original, cartoon, which I was in the Marines when that came out. And I remember
cartoon witch
catching one of them like when I was on leave. And I'm like, oh my God, I got to find a way to watch this every Saturday. I need to find a way to watch all these episodes. And I was blown away. So bringing back the creative crew, I have high hopes. I hope it's good. Obviously, Deadpool 3 is probably going to be fantastic. I have pretty high hopes. We get, I don't know if you guys saw, but there was artwork released for what Wolverine's helmet is going to look like.
No, I haven't seen
it. And let me just say,
he's actually going to wear the helmet. Finally.
Not just the hair.
Yeah, not just the hair. It'll be the helmet.
Yeah.
And it looks spectacular.
I hate to admit that I was not all aboard the X-Men animated series train when it first came out. I wasn't aware it existed. So I was obviously a little bit younger than you, Keith. I found out in the most weird roundabout way. So when I was a kid, collecting different trading cards was a big deal, and we would collect them in these booklets and show them off on the bus and everything. And I remember I was so proud of all my Ghostbusters cards and my Ninja Turtles cards. And then some guy's like, "Yeah, well, did you see my my Wolverine card?" I'm like, "What?" And I'm looking, and he's got all of these trading cards that he picked up, from the X-Men animated series. And it's got Wolverine, and it's got Rogue, and it's got Jubilee, and I'm like, "What the heck are these people? What is all this?" And this was like the show had already been out for like a month
Yeah,
at this
yeah.
point. I had completely missed it. I think I was watching the Sonic the Hedgehog animated series and stuff.
Yeah, that was on at the same time.
And so, once I figured out and I was given it a watch, I'm like, oh my God, what have I been missing? But no, it's not like today where you can just stream it. If you missed it, you missed it.
You missed it.
You didn't record it on a VHS. Well, you were screwed.
Yeah.
Let's see. What time does the show start? Let's set the start time for it.
Okay. Let me turn on the TV Guide channel. Oh, it passed the channel 2, 4, and 7. Okay, let it go through and scroll through all of them, stopping every 3.
You see, kids, we used to have to do that back in the day.
Half an hour later,
channel it showed you what was happening on all the other channels.
Yep.
We didn't even have these digital recording devices. You had to use a VHS.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a tape thing that you put into a machine.
Sitting over there on cartoons that I recorded when I was younger. Just because, we had to go do stuff and I didn't want to miss them.
So, kids out there, do you know what a VHS is? Let us know in the comments.
Man, it was a rough world because then the other thing is, if you didn't have the VCR connected to the TV right, you didn't have the right channel selected. I remember that was something that it took me a couple of times to figure out exactly how it worked. I was trying to record an episode of, I think, Extreme Ghostbusters, and it turned out the way that this setup worked is you didn't set the TV to the channel that you were going to record from. You had to set the channel on the VCR on this particular VCR model.
Yep.
And
if you wanted to
I
watch
didn't know that,
else,
so I went to go play back my tape, and it's just channel 3, and I'm like, no.
well,
the funny thing is,
if you wanted to watch something else, you could watch something else on the TV channel.
Yeah,
but you couldn't watch it on the VCR.
Yep.
Nope.
I didn't see all of the episodes of X-Men, the animated series, until it came out on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it dropped, I watched, and I'd be watching.
Yeah.
Like, I never saw this.
Yeah, it was decent.
Wow. Oh, that makes sense for that later.
Yeah.
Lousy TV.
They were so faithful to a lot of the comic book stuff to this day. Like the episode with Wanda and Pietro and Magneto, going to the High Evolutionaries place. Such a great job. I mean, it just perfect. Everything about I think it was like 2 or 3 episodes that they played it out in. It was so good. It's not even just good animation. It's good TV.
Yeah, it is.
Like, it can be enjoyed by an adult.
Mm-hmm. And obviously it is.
Yeah.
Wholesome family value.
The good adults.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, yes, all of that to say that I am very much looking forward to X-Men 97.
Me too.
I would say that Deadpool has got to be an amazing movie since it's the only superhero movie coming out from the 2 major theaters studios this year. So
yeah, it's gonna make some money, that's for sure.
And the last thing coming out from the MCU is, Agatha, the Darkhold Diaries, or Agatha All Along, or Agatha Coven of Chaos, whatever it's going to be. And that's
hold on, I had a list going. Let me see if I can.
I want to hear it, Doug.
Yeah.
Agatha and the Midnight Madness, Agatha and the Witches of the World, Agatha and
Agatha 2, Electric Boogaloo.
I totally forgot of some of the best films coming out. Madam Web,
the Sony ones, right?
Oh yeah,
Craven the Hunter.
Oh, good. In 1 year. Ooh,
that's why I said the 2 major the 2 major.
And the only thing we're getting from the DCU this year is Creature Commandos, the animated series.
Mm-hmm. Is it coming out on Max?
Yes.
Yeah, good.
I'm still on the fence there. Well, does Kite Man come out this year?
Oh,
they have not said yet.
If it does, I'm checking that out. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What I'm looking forward to that is not a superhero movie that Sony is putting out, weirdly enough, is Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah, that's December, right?
No, I think it's coming out earlier than that.
Spring. I think it's March.
Yeah, it's like if it's
It was originally slated for December of last year, but then the writers and the actors strike pushed it out. They didn't start getting back to editing it until the strikes had ended.
Damn.
So I think it's supposed to be God, I don't remember the month, but I know it's supposed to be spring.
I mean, what other movies coming out in May this year? Since Deadpool's coming out in June, right?
July
even. So we need a major movie in May. That's usually where the biggest hits are.
Yeah, I don't. Originally, Captain America: Brave New World was going to come out.
Oh, really?
What is
yeah.
What'd you call?
What'd you say, Doug?
I said Ghostbusters is March 22nd.
Whoa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Let's not forget the Airbender Avatar movie.
Yes. That's coming out soon. Looking
February
forward to
22nd.
Yep.
Remember, it's a treat for me and you on our birthdays.
That's right. Yeah, that's going to be phenomenal, I think.
It sounds like it. It sounds like the changes they had made that you sent us in that Slack. It was like, all right, that makes sense. I like it. I like where they're going with it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, with Dune Part 2, March 1st. That's when that one comes out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on. Timothy Chalamet destroyed in Wonka.
You know what I'm happy about there? I'm happy that this is a leap year.
I heard it was good.
And
Oh,
there's one more
Furiosa. That's coming out May 24th.
I
Furiosa.
forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. Inside Out 2. Yeah.
What'd you say? Planet of the Apes has a new movie coming out?
Yeah, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh my God! There's a sequel to Twisters coming out. Twisters.
No.
Plural? July
Come on,
19th.
really?
How'd they do that?
Minari director Lee Isaac Chung will helm Twisters, the sequel to 1996 Twister. While the film is not a continuation of the original film, it promises it'll deliver the same thrills and disasters that made the original box office a hit.
So it'll flop.
Oh, it's a reboot.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Oh, and we almost forgot. I know the one that Dave is looking most forward to, Joker.
Oh, yeah. It's a musical. Folie à deux.
When's that coming out, Keith?
October 4th.
October 4th.
Yeah, I want
Beetlejuice 2 is coming out as well, September.
with Michael Keaton, though.
Yeah.
So,
And Gladiator 2 in November.
what?
Yeah.
How the hell do you do Gladiator?
Gladiator 2. You
Shut up
got
and be
me.
entertained.
Yeah.
Be entertained.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay.
Are you not entertained? Oh, okay. I do have a little side note about Gladiator 2. There was an original script for Gladiator 2 that they shut down. And basically they were going to have Russell Crowe's Maximus come back from the afterlife on a mission to kill a Jesus-like person on Earth. Because the gods didn't want him to be. It was so nuts.
Is that a joke?
What? No, it's not. But they
Oh my
shut that
God.
down, and Russell Crowe really wanted that. But no,
I bet Russell Crowe did.
Yeah.
Sometimes the studio execs get it right, kids.
Sometimes they do. I do not fault them for that. That was going to be woohoo.
Oh, you know what else is coming out that I'm looking forward to? And I'm not talking to Mean Girls musical, Dave.
Oh man,
Argyle.
Argyle.
I'm looking forward to
Argyle.
it.
You want to see that? Yeah.
What
That
is
Vaughn?
haircut that
Love.
Henry Cavill has, that's the one, right? Like,
Argyle.
Wait, what is Argyle?
It is by Matthew Vaughn. It is did the Kingsmen and X-Men First Class, and it's a cheeky spy action comedy.
Oh, okay.
and it has Bryce Dallas Howard is the writer who makes this crime story and everything, and it apparently is like what's happening in real life, only a little different. And Henry Cavill's in it as one of the characters in the book that they show. He's got the weirdest looking haircut. If you see the preview, I'm like, that does not work for the dude. So,
Keith, you said you had a bunch of Star Wars news. How much is a bunch?
Well, it was the Ahsoka season 2 has been officially greenlit,
Greenlit.
which is
Yep.
fantastic.
Mhm.
The Mandalorian being 6 episodes in season 4, and then completed in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. There's one other thing.
Was it the Filoni
Okay.
trilogy news?
Yes, thank you. That they're turning the Filoni stuff into a full-blown trilogy to kind of, and I would bet money that they were like, okay, you got a movie, and then him and Favreau just sat down and mapped it all out,
Yeah.
and they were like, listen, we've got enough for a trilogy. We're not just flying by the seat of our pants. We're not doing a trilogy because you're supposed to. Here's what we got. And they were probably like, okay, we agree. Kind of like I envision Andor, how they did it. They were like, we don't usually do 12 episode seasons. Well, here's what I got written out for it. And they were like, okay, you get 12 episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, that was another thing. Did you guys hear about, is it David Gilroy who did Andor?
Tony Gilroy.
Tony Gilroy, thank you.
Mhm.
The rumor is he is directing Star Trek 4.
Really? Instead of Tarantino?
Yes, Tarantino dropped out. Tarantino, who, according
It's
to
going to be
people
the
who read
Kelvin
his
universe,
script,
right?
according to people who read Tarantino's script, it was the best Star Trek film ever. But he said
Wow.
he's only doing 10 films, and he doesn't want his 10th one to be Star Trek. He has something else in mind.
Okay.
But if he wrote the script, he didn't say he was only going to write 10 films. Have someone else direct it.
Yeah.
That
I
is
thought
true,
you were going to
because
say like
True Romance was not a Tarantino movie, but he did write it.
which movie?
True Romance.
I thought you were going to say he made a demand that all the actors and actresses were barefoot during the filming.
Or every one of the cast had to die at the end of it, because that's a Tarantino movie.
Nice.
By a flamethrower chainsaw.
And Sam Jackson would have to be in it too, by the way.
Yes.
Yep.
He'd be the one with the flamethrower chainsaw.
Can you imagine him being in a Star Trek movie and like he's the first assistant to Scotty, and is like every word he comes out of his mouth, he's like, "Mother,
Beam up my ass, motherfucker."
Kyber crystals burned out, man."
Scotty, we need more power. Who the hell is he talking to? God damn it.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
And since we talked about everything else, we should talk about the Star Wars things that are coming out this year.
Okay.
Because we have 4 things. We have The Acolyte,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm looking forward to. Hopefully we get something on it soon. We got the Bad Batch season 3, the final season.
Woo!
That looks excellent.
What else?
Gotta be.
No, I lost all train of thought. Tales of the Jedi.
Tales of the Jedi.
Season 2.
And then there was one more. Why can't I think? Oh my God.
Not Rogue Squadron.
No,
No,
definitely not Rogue
That was
Squadron.
already supposed to come out.
Yeah.
No, I gotta
Last
look
one.
it up. Got a head in my head.
Mhm.
Now I lost it.
What'd you go and lose it for?
Oh, Skeleton Crew.
Oh, yeah. Skeleton Crew.
And
That-
then,
that's a-
unfortunately, for those of you who haven't heard, Andor season 2 has been pushed back to 2025.
That is
Yeah.
terrible news. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's such
I mean-
a good show.
I understand it, but at the same time, I am very disappointed by that news.
Same.
It has been 2 years already. That's
I-
the disappointing part.
I know I told you guys about this, but I had to go back and watch Andor as like a palate cleanser, especially after watching
Mhm.
Rebel Moon. So, and it was
Yeah.
nice to see, they can do a space thing. Like, right. It's possible.
Yeah. An on the grounds scenario for these guys dealing with a galactic empire, which was way better. Yeah.
It was so much
figure.
deeper,
Yep.
than I expected. But and no force users. I mean, no lightsabers. It's just the ground level for everybody, like you said, like the ground level. Seeing how the regular person reacted to the way the Empire was.
Yeah.
That's what I liked about it.
Me too. It was very refreshing. And in going back and watching Rogue One, it does blend very well with that, and it just makes you appreciate that all the more. And so getting that season 2 that links right up with that, it's going to be such a treat to be able to watch Andor season 1, season 2 leading into Rogue One. That's a beautiful chunk of Star Wars right there.
Can you imagine a story that has a definite end and we know where it's going? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's close.
Yeah, I know, right?
And another good thing about it.
Nope. There's only one road that leads to.
Remember when you sent us the
Everybody
posters from Rebel Moon and there was a Tim with 2 M's?
Yeah.
Yes.
There was a Tim with 2 M's in Andor.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I had to look it up because I wasn't. I'm
So
like,
are you
did he
saying
rip
that
off
Zack
Andor?
Snyder just ripped off Andor? Is that what we're
Not
saying
at all.
here?
We all
No,
know
I'm
that
saying I made that
Andor.
poster.
No, Zack
We know
Snyder's
that
completely-
Andor got a peak. What?
Mhm.
You made that poster?
Oh
Yeah, I made
yeah,
that.
Tim Carlo. Oh, he was the guy who ratted out Andor, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Who was the girl's name again?
Bix Colleen.
Bex. Yes.
Colleen.
Bix.
Bix. You're right. I think I said Bex because of
Think of
Keith's
bricks and then Bix, like bricks.
Yeah,
Wait,
she was
so
in bad
you
shape at the end
thought
of
that was
season.
actually one of the characters from Rebel Moon?
I assumed you showed us real stuff because I was like, there's a Tim and Andor. God, I can't believe Andor stole from Zack Snyder like that. Because obviously they saw Zack's script at
Oh, yeah,
Lucasfilm.
yeah.
And we're like, yeah, we got to steal that
Oh.
Tim dude because he's
Yeah.
awesome. Oh, that's funny. You got me, Doug.
Yeah, good. I
And
was
he
hoping
got
to
you
get
for
more
a few
people, but
days.
unfortunately, I didn't get as many. I didn't get as many views of the Instagram thing as I was hoping. I thought there would be more
Come on,
people like,
Instagram.
hey,
Wait a minute.
wait a minute, you guys.
Pretty inside though. So. Hey,
Yay!
JJ, say hi, brother.
Huh.
Hi.
How's it going, buddy?
Good
He
enough.
did not watch Echo. By the way, would not recommend it for your kids. So,
No.
yeah.
Well, should we? We never rated Echo. We never rated Echo.
Aiko.
I'm Solomon Grundy for the rest of the. Me, I'm good.
Okay.
Born on a Sunday.
Nice.
All right.
Well, in
I
that
can-
case, let's do this, and then let's do because I do want to show something while we're rating it. There we go.
Oh yeah, love that.
Let's
I
love
love
that
that
poster.
poster. Yeah.
Does
Such
that
a
say
good
Echo?
poster.
Yep.
It does say Echo.
Yes.
Nice.
Yep. Mhm.
No, that- okay.
Now
And
that's perfect.
ASL.
I don't think I can list any more reasons than what
Hey,
we've already gone over.
Dave,
Yeah.
scoot over just a tiny bit. Other way, other way, other way. Go the other way. There. Oh, there. Oh.
Oh,
And then he
it was
Oh,
perfect
that's
before,
what
Doug.
Doug, what are you doing? You're moving us all over.
I know.
whiplash over here, man.
Someone call.
Oh yeah, let's get Arrow or Echo on the line to crack our necks.
That's right. I need that adjustment,
Bring it
please.
back, guys.
Well,
I know
we can start with Keith since he's on the bottom right now. What do you think, Keith? I'm sure your rating will not be on the bottom. No. There we go. That's perfect. Me and so anyway, guys.
I just wanted to see what it would look like if I chose that one. Wasn't
Nice.
entirely positive. Anyway, so Keith, what would you rate Echo?
I really enjoyed so much about this. The two down things I talked about earlier. The first episode seemingly just choppy with too many edits and obviously massive changes going on. And the final episode being, I thought, a little too rushed. Everything else I really enjoyed. I thought the acting, the writing, the music, all of the things they did, all the flashbacks, especially to, Maya's ancestors and all that, was so well done. I enjoyed almost every minute of watching this series. So
Mhm.
I'm going to give it an 8.2. I'm looking forward to watching again. One of the things I always, do when I will I watch it again? And there's a lot where I'm like, that's okay, but I'll probably never watch it again, or that's terrible, I'm never watching it again, or any of its sequels. But this, I'm
Mhm.
like, I kind of can't wait to watch it again because I know there's things I missed and I want to catch up on, and I want to, the 8.2 has so much to do with Vincent D'Onofrio too, because I mean, he just stole every scene he was in, and the way he portrays Kingpin is just absolute perfection. He just commands the entire scene, and his presence is overwhelming to everybody else in it. And that's how the Kingpin should be. And they did the character absolute justice with the writing, with what he did and how he was and how we're going to see him be, and loved it.
Yeah, and I think that you're right about D'Onofrio. Even if they gave him a script that didn't accentuate those features that you mentioned, he can make it fit. Just by his delivery.
Yeah.
He's such a good actor. I think he's underrated because you never hear about him like on the bigger scope. You hear him out in our circles, in the movies and shows that we watch. But other than that, you don't really hear about him outside of that. And I think that's kind of a crime. He's amazing. He's a really good actor. And you even mentioned something else a second ago. And I struggle with this all day. I really like the show. And my only question was, like, as far as bringing my rating up or down, was, do I want to watch it again? And I don't think I do immediately. Like when Captain America: The Winter Soldier came out, I wanted to see that again the next day. And I think I did. I went the next day and saw it. This I'd probably watch again, but it won't be like I got to go see it right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for that reason, I feel like one of the sharks from Shark Tank. And for that reason, I give it an 8. Yeah, I'm out. I give it an 8 rather than a 9 or an 8.5 because I wouldn't watch it again right away. So there's my rating. Let's move on.
Yeah.
It's my TED Talk.
Thank you.
Chris, what do you think?
I think you're next.
Yeah, a great point, Dave. Like it's what's the rewatchability for this show? And yeah, I probably need a little bit of time, but if I'm really bored and I've got nothing else to watch, which when does that ever happen? So much stuff going on right now. I would give it another shot too. I very much enjoyed the character. I love just the emphasis on our First Nations and everything. I love the input of that. I loved getting to see, like, in Alabama in the 1700s, this society, like, you think about Native Americans and the millions of people that were here before the Europeans were settled and everything. And you get to see a glimpse of that in this show. And I love those little glimpses. I wanted more of that kind of stuff in here too. And I find that it all kind of worked together. And even though, like, we could tell that there were some rewrites, there were some definite things that they had to condense in there and retool. Still, overall, I very much enjoyed the story. I like the characters. I remembered the characters. I liked Biscuit. I liked Maya. Kingpin was awesome, like you guys said. Vincent D'Onofrio just nails it every single time. Like I felt
you loved
connected.
Vicky.
Oh yeah, Vicky was awesome. I loved to hate him, so it was great. What wasn't sad to see him go, but yeah, but yeah, they did a really good job building these characters and this family dynamic. And like I said, it was a nice a character study into seeing a downfall of a character from the first episode, which was choppy, like you mentioned, Keith. But at the same time, it was nice to see that character deal with these choices and to see things in a fresh new way with a new lens and make different decisions, different choices to ultimately better herself and to get her into a place where we can sort of root for her. Even though I did mention earlier that, she's done a lot of killing and we shouldn't just wipe that under the rug. There should be some consequences to that. Getting to see Daredevil again and those acrobatics too. Didn't mention this before, but man, I love those. I loved all the little things, even though we didn't get to see him very much. it just was Daredevil to a T, and I love that. So for all that different stuff, all the little story elements that I very much enjoyed. I like that it was 5 episodes. I'm glad that it wasn't 8 episodes or anything like that. I think that it was good for what it was. I'm probably, let's see if I can do this right for ASL. So if it's a 8 out of 10 on there for me,
All right.
for my rating of this episode.
We're in the same camp. I like
Yeah,
it.
right?
Very good.
Dougie Fresh.
So I
What you
don't
got?
know that I could add too much more than what you gentlemen have already said. It was such a well done series. You could tell that, one of the things that kind of took me out of it for just a moment was the first episode seemed a bit rushed, and it seemed like it was very chopped up. Like I almost wonder if they had a little bit more to Maya's backstory, if it was like 2.5 episodes worth of breaking out her character, showing us her as a child, showing her as she's coming up in Kingpin's thing. But one of the things that I felt that they did right, and this is where I think I have to kind of praise the editing choices. You guys were talking about Daredevil's, bringing him back, which was fun. It was great to see him. Great to see Charlie Cox playing that role phenomenally again. But I think one of the best parts was it felt natural. One of the things that this show did that has been a bit lacking in the MCU is this felt like a real lived-in world. This felt like this is normal. This stuff happens all the time. Just Kingpin's sort of nonchalant said, "Oh well, yeah, of course you didn't win against him. It's Daredevil. He beats up my guys all the time. Like, this literally happened 2 weeks ago." He was just like this. Yeah, of course, Daredevil. Yeah, like he's always stopping me, and it felt right. It felt right for this universe. It felt like they were not only giving us, Zach, I know you're in our chat. I need you to pay attention, buddy. But it felt like not only were they giving us the opportunity to learn more about their version of Echo, expanding on her character, letting us know her new power set, showing us an actual a person that felt real who used ASL in order to communicate. But they also expanded on our world. They expanded on the world of the MCU, and they showed us, these hero vigilantes are out here doing this stuff all the time. This is very normal. Yeah, people are just used to it. This is a Tuesday or a Thursday. We're gonna have Sunday dinner.
Love that.
But the acting choices were so good. Everything with the acting was some of the best stuff that I think I've seen in a while. I mean, everybody. Biscuits was such a great character. I was also worried a little bit like Keith, thinking, oh, he's just going to be, a comic relief. But no, once again, this speaks to the direction that was done with this show. And so I was struggling to try and find anything that I could nitpick because I didn't want to sound like I was just sitting here, oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing ever. But oh my gosh, guys, this was one of the greatest things ever. This was some good TV. This was good Marvel. And it was a nice breath of fresh air to get this again, to get something good that I actually enjoyed. That I realized at the time, I'm like, God, like I want to finish watching all 5 of these episodes. And if this had come on a bit earlier, I would have. But I was like, oh God, it's already 11:30. I got to go to bed.
Right.
I was lucky enough to watch it all at once, like as soon as it came out too. I don't have the same kind of work schedule you guys do.
Did you give it a rating, Doug?
No. So that's what I was going to say next.
He's working up to it.
Nice. Okay.
I am going to give this an 8 out of 10 on the Doug scale. It was really good.
Nice. Yep.
But it wasn't like, it's not a 10. It's not Loki, season 2. So that's kind of what I'm comparing it to. It was good. And it was, like I said, a breath of fresh air, but it wasn't as phenomenal. But I will praise it for what it did, for its character development. I love this new version of Echo. She feels so much. She feels like so much more of a character than she ever did in the comics. And I liked her in the comics, but she feels more fleshed out. I love her new power set. I love the fact that she can draw on the powers of her ancestors. I love that again, this world of the MCU, this street level stuff, just it feels real. It feels like this has been going on. The fact that Kingpin can walk up to the police and take somebody that they're arresting and just walk away, and they're like, "Hey, he's the Kingpin. What are you gonna do?"
Right?
He's not even mayor yet.
Yeah.
Mm.
But
and
yeah.
speaking of that, I mean, when was the last time a post-credit scene got you excited for what's coming
Right?
next?
Yeah.
It's been a while.
And I am truly excited for what's coming next. And I ended up watching it with my dad because he loves action stuff. He loved Daredevil. His favorite was
Same.
Punisher. He loves the Punisher. It's one of his favorite shows. And he keeps asking me, hey, when is it coming back? When are they going to bring it back? I don't know, Dad. I don't know if it's going to come back. And oh man, I need to see more of that. And so when I told him about Echo, and I said, oh, and by the way, Daredevil's going to be in it. Oh, and he got so excited. So I watched it with him, and he loved it. It was
Nice. Yeah.
And so as soon as it ended, because he thought, oh, this must have come out a while ago because it was all the episodes all at once. He goes, so that was season 1, right? I'm like, yeah. And he goes, when is season 2 coming out? I'm like, oh, Dad, I don't know. I don't think it's been renewed for a second season yet. He goes, oh, I need to know what's going to happen next.
Now, did you tell your dad that the Punisher is showing up in Daredevil Born Again?
No, I need to temper his excitement a bit,
Mhm.
Oh, he's like me with Sully. I can't tell him when it's too far off because I'll keep hearing it every day. Hey, when is that thing coming
If I
out?
told him Punisher was
should've
going
never
to show up,
mentioned.
that'd be like giving a kid Mountain Dew at midnight
Oh, jeez.
and tell him to go to bed.
Oh, where have we heard that before?
No comment.
That guy knocked it out of the park.
Oh, God. Top tier parenting right there.
Yeah.
Shut up. Here's some more M&Ms.
Now go to bed.
You and Eminem.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
Is that gonna bring us to an end tonight? Do we got anything else to say?
I just can't believe we're so close on our ratings here.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, that's
Within
the first.
too.
Yeah, right?
Of course, Keith's was the highest with the silver lining.
True.
The silver lining is what made it the point too.
Yeah. The almighty silver lining.
But yeah, it really is phenomenal. If you have not seen Echo yet, you've got to see it. But by the way, if
go
you're
watch
watching us just spoil all of Echo, I am sorry.
What are you doing watching this?
Still worth the watch.
Absolutely.
Still worth the watch. It was so
No,
good.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
I had a drop in there.
Should we find someone to raid, gents?
I think we should.
Yep. That's a good idea.
Raid away.
Are we on YouTube as well?
We are.
We are.
Sweet.
So,
Yeah, so
Dave,
you
would
on
like to
YouTube, we're not-
explain that to our YouTube? Oh, okay. Go ahead, Keith.
I was going to say, for those of you on YouTube, raiding is something you do on Twitch where you take all of your viewers and go watch somebody else. So you can introduce your community to another community that you enjoy. And, hopefully they'll, enjoy them, and it goes on and on and on.
And they'll tell two friends.
And on.
And then they'll tell two friends.
And so on. And so on.
Let's see. Macaw's on. Critical Role is on.
19.1 thousand viewers.
I know. I do love Critical Role, but yeah, I don't think they need us tonight.
It sounds like they don't need the extra.
I've been playing D&D one shots on Friday nights, and it's been fun.
I have Jinxie, who has 58,000 viewers right now.
Oh yeah, 5 coppers versus in Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anybody.
Who is Ketsukoto? Do you have that person?
I do.
I
Playing Destiny 2.
Yeah, who are they?
I have no idea.
Is that how you say it? Trey, AYY Trey, that girl who
A-Tray?
Yeah, she gave us a shout out, and we got a bunch of accolades.
Yep. I love her tagline when she streams. Do you
What's
guys
that?
ever see her announcements? It says, "Set phasers to stunning."
Oh my god.
This is
That's
another
great.
person. I don't remember who it is, but whenever they go live, it says only attractive people can see this stream. You're like, okay, that's good. That's smart.
That's why I don't see it. She lost a viewer. Well, we could do Koto. They are playing Destiny 2. It could be kind of fun. Lara Loopsy plays that quite a bit.
Alrighty.
Do as you feel.
Do it. Get.
Use your hate, young Keith. Let it
Please.
guide you. Use your
Sit
emotions.
Sit down before you fall down, please.
All right. We are going to be rating them in a minute. Chris, thank you so much for coming out and joining us tonight. We really appreciated it.
Yeah. Anytime, buddy.
Thank
Come
you
on.
for having
Anytime you want.
me.
And hey,
Man,
make sure
be
you
here.
check. Make sure you check our information underneath the video if you're on YouTube. Make sure that you follow the fandom, subscribe to his channel. Great information. Like I said, we love his videos. Good stuff.
Learned more about
also-
Star Wars from his videos than watching the movies.
Yeah.
That's true.
Also, if you are so inclined, make sure you subscribe to us. Do all the social media stuff. Click all the buttons. I think YouTube might have added a few more. Who knows? It's a bell or something.
Super thank us, whatever
Yeah.
whatever you can do, just get it done.
Right?
Do all the things.
And with everybody leaving YouTube, I mean, let's
Right?
blow up Not Your Status Quo. They're going to be the next hit. So
And
there's
fatherly
the video.
fandom.
And fatherly fandom.
Mhm.
If you want to do that too, I can come along for the ride as well.
When we blow up, we'll fly you out to Detroit to be at the theater review for the Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Hell, we should do that. anyway.
Deal, guys. I think that we should do that actually. So when that premieres, I will buy a ticket out there and we'll all go see it together. Sound like
Oh,
a good
yeah.
plan?
Oh,
That sounds like
that.
a plan, dude.
that's it
Wouldn't that be
for
fun?
that's it for Twitch.
Yep,
Nice.
We just rated.
Yeah, we just rated on Twitch. All right. So once again, for all of you that are still watching us on YouTube, again, thank you for watching us. Do all the YouTube stuff. Subscribe, like, share to all your friends, and follow us on all the social media. Comment down below, and as always, we'll see you next time right here on Not Your Status Quo. Hey fellow nerds, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more of this stuff, make sure that you check out our Twitch stream. We try to do these live Sunday or Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Keep an eye on our social media to find out when you can join in live and chat with us during these live streams. Also, as usual, don't forget to check out our other social media. Add us at Twitter, comment down below, and we'll see you next time right here on Not Your Status Quo.